Hey, Tom.
Hey, Curtis.
Do you need a beer butt?
Yeah, I do, buddy.
There you go.
Nice. Time to power up.
Let's do a podcast.
Let's do it. Oh, my God. It's finally come to that time. One more show.
Welcome to the Great Canadian Hosers!
And guest, especially our guest today, Adam.
What's up, true believers?
Yes, the most amazing Marvel believer you have ever heard on radio.
This is the second time, the second go, and we're ready to talk a bunch of shit.
For Phase 2.
A bunch of fucking different goddamn shows.
Yeah.
Phase 2. This time it's personal.
It's the revenge. Or the retaliation. Or anything these.
Or
something
Tony Stark's comeuppance.
But first,
Tony Stark's comeuppance.
we would like to thank all
Not
of
a
the
sector.
listeners for tuning in because we have been on at least a 2.5, 3 month hiatus over the summer and into
It's all
September.
Curtis's fault, just saying. Right, Adam? Right?
I know of no one to blame.
Oh, my
I think
goodness.
there was
Here we
maybe
go.
some summer vacay, a marriage perhaps.
I don't know who the hell you're trying to talk about. Certainly 8-Bit Tom would never get married.
He doesn't. He wouldn't grow
Still,
up like that.
still available, gentlemen.
Oh, we're going to 2019 ground here. I'm fine to be loved by men, if that's all right, too. That's okay.
That's good. We all love you. It's good.
So we're back, and this is kind of like a new season, and we're going to be continuing with the Marvel Universe and our quick and dirty reviews for the next phase of Marvel films. Could we just quickly list off the movies that we'll be covering today?
Iron Man 3, Age of Ultron by the Avengers.
Ant-Man, since we're not going in order. Captain America.
Which Captain America?
Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
number
And my
2.
favorite, Guardians of the Galaxy.
And
And that shitty Thor movie.
Thor,
the
the
Dark.
Dark World.
That one sucked. I'll keep it for then.
But it could have been renamed Thor Hot Topic, and it would have been 100% fitting
Thor,
for the movie too.
Hot Topic. Come get your clothes. Come have some fun. Spend some money.
We're gonna
Stick
be
around.
We're gonna be moody, and everybody's gonna still love Loki for reasons that are.
Because of horns. Horns and the big staff.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
He's got nice flow.
Did you guys notice that there's a bunch of girls doing Girl Loki, and it's kind of fucking hot, when you think
You know,
about it.
okay, women that cosplay, I'm on board.
Me
Like,
too.
it just goes.
I am so there. Ka-ching.
So yeah, if you want to mail any photo shoots, ladies,
You know what? I want to see a female Mega Man. Somebody get back to me with that.
if Jessica
Female Mega Man.
Jessica Negri hasn't done one, I'm sure she's going to do one eventually.
Actually, be female Mega Woman, right?
Mhm.
Actually, there's a
Mega
like,
Woman.
because Mega Man's not actually his name in the video game, isn't it? Isn't he Rock? And there's a female
He's a
counterpart
fighter
called Roll.
robot.
Yeah, his name is
Mega
Rock.
Man.
and
Yeah,
Roll.
yeah. There's it's a duo called Rock and Roll because it was
Well, that's a different series of video games, really.
no, that was Mega Man.
It's not rock and roll. It's like rock and bass. It's a dog.
Is it? No. There's a female. Anyways, we are off topic. We're
So
here to
off topic.
we
Oh
are
my
here to
God.
talk about Marvel movies, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Okay, so what's the first one that we're going through? bleh.
Iron Man 3. Iron Man
Iron Man-
3 is how they launched
Shit, I
Phase
didn't-
2.
I was going to go into Iron Man 3, and I was hoping it wouldn't go.
What year would that have been?
Goodness, it's you know what? I believe these came out in 2015 and 2016, if I recall correctly.
I would say
all
Iron
the-
Man
all the
3
movies.
probably 2015.
No.
or
Iron
14.
Man 3. Crap, I looked up the wrong movie. Here we
Yeah.
go. Iron Man 3 was 2013.
Oh, was it?
So
Oh.
Phase 2 began in 2013.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of the era in which we are looking at. Okay, so the primary actors in Iron Man 3 obviously is Robert, Gwyneth Paltrow, Guy Pearce, my favorite Ben Kingsley, poor guy, John Favreau, Don Cheadle, he's my favorite, Rebecca Hall, Stan Lee makes an appearance, of course, and a bunch of other people. Now, how do we want to start this quick and dirty?
Iron Man 3, the shittiest one of them all.
Like
I
the
feel
Iron,
that's, like, too
wait,
soon. Sorry,
shittiest Iron Man or shittiest MCU?
How about shittiest wave of movies that came out for that?
That doesn't answer the question at all.
Fucking shitty.
Like, are you saying it's the worst of the Iron Man movies or worst of the Marvel movies overall?
Overall, because I still think Iron Man 2 is much worse than Iron Man 3. Fucking fuck you. Where's my
Okay.
bird? God
Okay,
damn it,
okay.
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke,
I don't want to get
yeah.
back into this.
Okay. But worst of this phase, you're saying
Worst
is
of
Iron
this
Man
phase,
3.
Iron Man 3.
Okay, now I see what you're saying.
Curtis
All right.
disagrees. I can see him right now. He hates Age of Ultron. I love that movie. I can't get into this right now. Let's start with the first movie.
We're gonna have 3 different worst movies.
You're putting
of the
words in my mouth,
phase.
Tom.
I can see it through your eyes. Let's just start with the first movie. Here we go. Iron Man 3. What do you have to say for it, Curtis? We're starting off
Okay,
with you.
so one of my beefs was Guy Pearce, so the main villain in the film. I feel like he's a discount version of Brad Pitt. I think Brad Pitt was supposed to be casted for that.
Yeah.
Because he kind of looks like Brad Pitt in a way, and
Yeah.
he's got that long hair. And I think that was meant to be, but they just couldn't afford him.
It's Marvel
What?
/ Disney. They could afford to get Jesus to come and star in a movie if they wanted to.
So money wasn't an issue.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I don't think
God.
money's an
Come
issue.
on.
Like they
Okay,
spent a lot
okay.
of money on these movies.
Well, I know. I think Brad Pitt
Okay,
would have
well-
been the cast for that villain.
I can kind of see what you're saying. So I agree with Curtis.
And
on this one.
okay, so I follow
I do-
Ben
I do.
Kingsley,
Okay.
and his role in the movie is actually kind of funny because he's acting as a terrorist, even though he's like he's an Indian guy.
He's supposed to be a good guy.
And he's an English Indian guy. He's
Yeah.
an English Indian guy actor, and then they find him, and he is an English Indian guy actor playing an English Indian actor.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought that was kind of quirky.
which is okay, and it was a nice way, I guess, for them to get around things because the Mandarin, like just going on his name, you can probably guess what ethnic group he was in the comic books. And in
I
the-
would have never guessed in a million years.
And in the 70s, it wasn't exactly handled delicately.
Good point. Yeah.
You know, so there was people talking about how, oh man, how are they going to do the Mandarin? Because they've been talking about the Mandarin since Iron Man 1. And they're like, oh, you can't do it. It's so racially insensitive, So, and I'm just going to throw in
What
my-
about fucking Short Circuit,
No,
though?
but just wait. Yeah, well, that was so long ago, though.
Okay, sorry,
But
guys.
here's my hot take of the movie.
Never mind, Curtis.
Here's
I'll
my
tell you another time.
here's my hot take of Iron Man 3.
'Kay.
The first half is amazing. I love Ben Kingsley in this movie.
kind of agree.
And he's like, and you'll never see me coming. And I'm like, yes, this is who I wanted to see. This is the Mandarin, and they grounded it. They didn't give him like the magic abilities and this and that. He's just a terrorist warlord, guerrilla warrior. He's like somewhere between Osama bin Laden and Che Guevara. Like this is like
I don't know
like-
if we'll make that comparison.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Oh, that's what he's casted.
yeah,
of
like
course.
Yes,
that's
yeah.
so it's like this is so like it's so well done, and then they do that stupid twist where he's like just like hello, my name's Trevor Slattery, and I'm a bit of an alcoholic, but they gave me lots of drugs and booze and these two broads, and now I'm a terrorist on film because I'm an actor, and yes, and it's like what? They took one of the greatest villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they did just cut him off at the knees so that discount Brad Pitt would be the big bad of the movie. And it's like, if they had done the reverse,
Discount Brad Pitt.
where if like discount Brad Pitt was like, I'm the one pulling the strings, and all of a sudden like Ben Kingsley just says, no, you're not. I'm the fucking Mandarin, and like just slits his throat or whatever you could get away with in PG-13 movie. Just like, I've actually been in charge this whole time. Thank you for making me the inheritor of your multi-billion-dollar company that's really going to help fund a few wars. This movie would be an 11 out of 10. Like if they had just kept Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin and gone that way. It was so good. But then they went with this stupid plot where Ben Kingsley is just an actor. And actually, the other people talk about what they don't like in the movie is Iron Man's barely in his Iron Man suit. It's basically a
He's
Tony
kinda
Stark
naked
movie.
the entire time.
Yeah, it's a Tony Stark movie, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
You know, because it shows that
I
it's
kind
like
of didn't like
he-
that at all. I thought like if I'm gonna pay
See?
for a fucking movie called just for a different example, War Machine, I want to see him in his suit killing a bunch of people.
All right, but depends, right? If they did make a War Machine movie and it was about him in his time before like his creation story, and it's like, hey, this is him as a fighter pilot, and he's in his Tomcat, and he's like, sure, he's not in his War Machine armor, but you get to see him be a war hero that's like
That would be super awesome.
right. So here we get to see Tony Stark outside of his suit, and he's got to be ingenuitive. He's got to have hand-to-hand combat. Yes, there's that stupid plot line with the little kid that's like.
It wasted everything.
So like every
Dude,
time that
it
kid's
slowed
on,
it
every
down.
time that kid is on screen, I'm like, oh, I think I need another drink, and I just leave the movie.
Talking
running
about
and go.
other drinks. Before I get to
Yep,
this,
yep.
I have this can here. It's awesome. There's a Donkey Kong character on it. It's
No,
called,
there's not. There's a monkey on there.
Okay, there's a there's a monkey with a red tie on there.
Yeah.
And it's called Dunkle Kong Country. Get it? Like Donkey Kong Country, but it's Dunkle Kong. It's made by Analog Brewing out of Edmonton, Alberta. Check them out. They're open fucking Thursday to fucking Saturday, goddammit.
And you
Holy
can find
shit.
Thomas there at least every Thursday.
Come
Yeah.
find me there. I'm 8-Bit Tom.
Buy him a
Come
drink.
find other people there. They're great staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the plug. I had something to talk about.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. I wasn't done
God,
yet.
I completely forgot. You gonna shotgun that thing or what?
No, I'm not going to shock it. I was going to ask Adam because we're about to fucking put a quick fucking cork into this one because I don't have much to say about Iron Man 3. Curtis, what's your overall rating? 10 being the best. How do you like Iron Man 3 out of 10?
Are we wrapping this up already?
Yeah, for Iron Man 3, that's it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Do we have to?
Let's go.
Oh,
I'm
come
done
on.
with Iron Man 3.
No,
Come
no,
on.
no, Tom. You don't. You don't get to just steamroll.
Fucking Pepper Potts is barely in it.
Is that what is that why you're upset because of Pepper?
No.
Yeah, you have a crush on Pepper. I know you do.
Not anymore. Not after I heard.
She broke your heart in that one.
Not after
No.
I heard a couple of things of she's done outside of the movie.
Yeah, you should inform me on that one. What are you talking about?
Well, you see, Pepper Potts, Gwyneth Paltrow, made
crazy.
this thing called Goop.
No, that's her company.
Oh,
it's called
okay.
Goop.
So the company's called Goop, and it's a product up there for your ladies, and it's like a stone, and you're supposed to shove it up your hoo-ha, like right up there. And apparently, get this, it's supposed to make everything feel better. So if you're allergic to stuff, if you're sick, if you got cramps, anything, it's just supposed to cure everything. You're supposed to just believe her, get this stone, stick it up there.
Okay.
Like, how much trust do you have? I used to love Pepper Potts, and after I got told that last week, it just broke me as a man.
Wait, so the stone doesn't turn to goop?
No, the
No,
stone
no, no.
stays a stone.
It's a jade egg, right?
It's
but
a fucking
okay,
stone.
so long story short, it's
awful.
Gwyneth Paltrow is one of those
She went
people that
crazy.
doesn't believe in vaccines.
She went
and
insane.
So she told people that it's like, oh, if you're allergic to bees, go to an acupuncturist and have them, puncture you with bees.
Give me a
and
break.
that way you get a small dosage, and eventually you'll be cured of your allergy. And I'm like, that's not how things work, and it's like
No.
she's the living embodiment of that meme where it's like, that's not how this works, that's not how any of this works. So it's like, but don't bring that into the movie. Pepper Potts and Gwyneth Paltrow are two different people.
Well, I thought it was going to be way more sexual than that. I'm kind of disappointed in that,
Yeah.
Tom.
Anyways, do you have anything else to say about Iron Man 3? Because
And I don't know. I was going to talk about some relationships and how Iron Man is losing the suit to help commit to his relationship. And what is this? We got
handing you a beer.
oh, nice, cool.
It tastes really good. There's a banana flavor to it.
Yeah. So would you agree that the reason why he's not in the suit is because he's trying to show?
Yes, he's trying to show like how good Iron Man is without
Yeah.
needing the suit.
And
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, he ditches
because
his
it's
core.
and it's a little bit of I think it's a little bit of a follow up to the line in the Avengers when it's like, oh, take the suit off and who are you? And he's like, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, blah 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 blah.
Which one was that? That was Iron Man, or no?
That was in Avengers. That line was, and I think Iron Man 3 when he's like not in the suit for most of the movie. I think that's a follow up to that plot point that they started in Avengers where they're just like, hey, without your suit, who are you? And it's like, no, without his suit, he's still a friggin' genius.
Yeah.
And
he's not someone to fucking go
he's
messing
in
around
shape, like he it's not like
Minus his health
he's
in
not like
the
a
core.
he's not like a super soldier or
Yeah.
the Hulk or Thor, but like just random guy in a street fight. Yeah, sure, Tony Stark can hold his own. So it's like I think I don't know. I don't.
That's a good way of putting it. Specifically, the street fight. You're picturing somebody going in an alleyway. There's
Yeah.
some rough motherfucker back there. He's
Yeah.
walking back there. Can Tony Stark hold his own? Yes.
Yeah,
Most
just
likely
like just
hold
like
his own.
in the real world, if you own, I'm not going to use any names or anything, so this doesn't get deplatformed. But say you own a social media website and you're worth a few $1 billion and you're 29 years old. That particular person, not that intimidating. He'd get mugged and have nothing to say about it. Another guy who owns his own spaceships and electric cars, I'd be afraid to pick on that guy since he wants to legalize flamethrowers for everybody. You know he's packing.
Wow. Oh my god, that's funny.
Right?
Yeah, excellent.
So I'm just saying, okay, so
Okay, so you know what?
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. We're 15 minutes into this.
Okay.
Curtis, tell me your pros and cons, just off the top of your head. A couple things you like, a couple things you didn't like.
They screwed up on the villains.
Yes, they did.
Like we said, Ben Kingsley and
could've been a lot
pseudo Brad Pitt should have been
Pseudo
swapped roles,
Yep.
Yeah.
where one was very short-lived and the other one held
I
the
feel
rest
like
of the
that's
movie.
giving a Brad Pitt like a whole other aura of being an awesome actor. Pseudo Brad Pitt.
And then the quick pros was that in the plot itself is they were attempting to get away from the suit and
Yes.
and experimenting in how a superhero can try to develop their relationship by
Yes,
making
with
sacrifices,
other people they never. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
and also trying to uphold their responsibility to society. So
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So score out of 10. Can you?
Yeah,
Okay.
score out of 10.
If you could.
for all Marvel movies, like this is relative to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like saying Citizen Kane is a 10 and like I don't know,
Sure.
Geely's a 0. But
Yeah, this is across Marvel
yeah,
movies.
just move. Just
a
Marvel.
6 out of 10.
All right.
6 out of 10. Okay. Okay, Adam, I want to ask you what you think about this movie, but in a specific way.
Okay.
So I remember last time we talked about an Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
You said that if they could have just kept it as a court movie, it would have been awesome. Like, here's your moment.
Oh, you're talking about Iron Man 2 and the scene where
Yeah.
he's
where he's in court is like, I'm trying to help you guys.
I've
Like,
privatized world
Yeah.
peace.
So-
Say thank you.
So you
You're welcome.
specifically
Yeah,
said
yeah.
something along the lines is like, if they could have kept going with that kind of atmosphere for the movie, it would have been a fantastic.
Was that in the
movie.
beginning of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I honestly think Iron Man 2's best scene is that Senate hearing
and
scene.
I watched it again,
and it's like,
and I agree with Adam.
Yeah.
I thought if the whole movie could be around just Tony Stark trying to get sued by the government,
Yeah.
that would have been an awesome
yeah,
fucking movie.
and just
man.
make
Like,
the
yeah.
just make the villain of it somebody that was working
So
for
that's
the
how-
Bureau of Alcohol, Firearms, and Tobacco.
Yeah.
Or alcohol, whatever, the ATF.
So
just make it
this
some
is how I
ATF
wanted to
goon
present
that's been
this
like,
to you.
we don't like your gun, so we're here to take it. And
So
I'm like, yeah,
Iron
make
Man
it that
3
movie.
versus Iron Man 2, in a way, it's like the entire Iron Man 3 movie versus just the beginning of Iron Man 2. What movie's best? Just with that, the beginning of Iron
okay,
Man 2 or the entire Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3 because Ben Kingsley.
What?
Ben Kingsley. That the first half before
I am
the
actually legitimately surprised.
before the reveal, I think Ben Kingsley nails being the Mandarin. Like, and it's like I remember being in theater and I was like loving this movie, loving Iron Man 3, and I was like. And then they do that reveal, and I had to be talked out of leaving by the person that was there with me.
Oh
And
my
she
God.
she was just like, "Sit down. Shh. We've already paid.
We can
We've
get past
we've already
this."
paid. It's fine. It's just a movie. It's just a movie." And like she spent like 5 minutes in the theater trying to calm me down. I was like, "This is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit." But I was
Yeah.
like, I was so angry. So it's like you're asking me a 5-minute scene versus the first hour of a movie. The fact that we have to narrow it down to the first 5 minutes of Iron Man 2 and be like, okay, that's the part you like? Okay.
Yeah, okay, so
Right?
that's what I'm asking. The part you like from
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 versus the entire Iron Man 3, you think Iron Man 3 is a better movie? Just
Yeah, because there's more of it that I enjoy, right?
because after I just asked you like that, I'd rather watch Iron Man 2. I'd rather just watch the beginning of Iron Man 2 and not watch
Yeah.
Iron Man 2. Or
But I'm okay. So for me, pros and cons. It's fairly well established. I like the first half of Ben Kingsley's performance.
Yes. Okay.
I hated the twist.
can
I would
agree with
love if they had done my dream version where it's like, discount Brad Pitt says, okay, I'm the guy pulling strings. And it's like, no, you're not, stab. And then you go on with Ben Kingsley being like the head honcho and just being like, the Mandarin is such a guy. And, in the comic books, he's got magic abilities like basically on the same level as Doctor Strange. They didn't go that way. Having him as a terrorist is a very cool interpretation of it. I really like it. And it fits with like the story arc that they'd built through Iron Man 1 and 2, where the Ten Ring organization is behind a lot of shady shit.
Well, Curtis said 6 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
So what did you
5.
say there? You say 5.
I'd say 5. Because again, I
5.
like half of the movie.
Okay. One last tidbit about Ben
sure.
Kingsley
Let's
before
hear
we
it.
go on to Thomas. I'm a big Ben Kingsley fan. But he gets casted in a lot of shitty movies.
And it's not his fault.
ton
It's just his character.
Of bad movies. But
He does.
my favorite movie with Ben Kingsley, for those guys who want to learn more about this gentleman, is a movie based on a book called The House of Sand and Fog, which is actually
Never heard of it.
Which is a novel that we would read about in high school, for example, and then read the movie, like in English class, for example.
Oh,
one of those ones. So it's like it's a drama, of course, and it is a tragedy.
Yeah.
So if you want to make your partner cry, I would recommend watching that movie. It's very good. And
Thanks, I'll keep it in mind.
So nobody will be surprised by this, but I've got like my fantasy list of who I want to see play different comic book characters. And for many, many years, Ben Kingsley has been my number one pick to be Mr. Freeze. I want to see him in a Batman movie where they make Mr.
man,
Freeze.
we just seen Arnold.
No,
he
no,
does fine.
and no ice puns. No, not a.
Chill out.
It's ice to see you.
Okay, let's get back on track here. So
Okay, Thomas,
Iron
your
Man
turn.
3.
Iron Man 3. We gave it a
You're
6. We
6
gave
out
it a
of 10.
5.
You're out of 5 out of 10. I'm just going to come right out with this. Everyone's going to fucking hate me for it. I watched this movie a total of 3 fucking times.
Oof.
And
Like recently?
Do you want to know what I remember out of the 3 times that I watched it?
Nothing.
Not a fucking thing. It is so forgetful that I don't remember a single thing. You know
What about the
what's one-
exploding people? Wasn't that detrimental?
No.
What about the
No!
Dora the Explorer watch that Tony Stark's wearing?
No. You know what I do remember? Pepper Potts is barely in the movie. You see her for like 5 fucking minutes. She's on the fucking cover for YouTube when you rent it.
You're tearing me apart, Peppa.
I am so fucking done. 0 out of 10. 0.
All right. Okay.
Can
That's
we
it.
go on
That's
to-
it. That's
You know
enough,
what?
Tom.
You know
on
what?
to Thor.
I'm so
Let
sorry.
me tell you something.
Oh my God. we're
Let me
doing
tell you
Thor.
something.
Well, hold on, guys. I think it's that time for a doobie break. Woo!
Far out, man. And we're back.
My
Man,
lungs.
it smells
Oh my
like
God.
the art teacher's office in here.
Whoa, what happened to you in high school?
Well, it was Catholic school, so it's unspeakable.
Nice. So, yeah.
On to the next movie.
Tom partook. I did not.
No.
Neither did Adam. But
All right, so what's the next movie we're talking about, guys?
Thor: The Dark World.
Can I start this one off?
This is the same year, 2013. And go ahead.
2013, in this year of our Lord and Father.
What? Who's going to say something? Someone's going to say something.
Oh well, I said I wanted to start it off.
Yeah, go ahead. Start off.
Yeah.
Okay, so having, like I said last podcast,
Yeah.
just seen the very first Thor movie a week before we did that. So literally a couple months ago. I thought it was a great movie, the first Thor movie.
Yeah.
And I actually seen this movie before in theaters, and I passed out while I was watching
Yeah, it's
it.
one of those. Yeah.
It's like and you know what? And I'm not ashamed of saying it. And I'll tell you what. You know what's the other movie I passed out to? Just a quick plug. I passed out to Han Solo in theaters as well.
You paid money for that?
Yes, I paid money. It was good seats. It was at the Manning Theater, so it was VIP, and I had beer.
Okay, so you reclined.
Yes, I
Yeah.
definitely. Anyway, besides the point. I'll just get right to it.
Point adjacent.
Loki is imprisoned. He gets out. Their mother dies. Thor becomes mad, but he still has a comedic value to himself.
And then Odin disappears somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, what did
Let me
happen to
finish.
Odin?
They
Hold
never
on.
explained that.
Yes. Okay. Hold on. Let me finish first.
Goes.
Anyway, he escapes. He has a group of awful people who try to help him out, and his mother suffers. He ends up faking that he dies, although you find out he doesn't die in the next movie. Spoilers. And the movie sucked. It's like
Yeah.
I literally watched it a couple times. I passed out a couple times. Once in the movies, once trying to watch it here. I didn't like it. And I'll even tell you my score right now before you guys even fucking talk. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. It was awful.
I think you recorded some of the box office numbers and the Rotten Tomatoes.
It was
Yeah.
awful. I didn't
Would you like to go over the last one we just reviewed and this one?
Oh, you know what? Let's save that to the end
You
because
wanna do
like
that?
the numbers
Yeah,
are kind of
let's save that.
shocking. Like it's
Yeah.
shocking.
You just tell me your personal
yeah.
thoughts.
Oh,
on the
okay,
movie.
cool.
But-
We'll divulge that information. At the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, you know what? I'm with you. Like this movie's hard to get through.
Like, what about it? Like, why?
Well, like
There-
I okay,
there's
like
no
I like
sp-
I
Oh, I'm sorry.
like
I'm
I said
talking
for
over you.
the like I said for the first Thor movie, where I actually liked the first Thor movie, but I said the worst part was Kat Dennings. And this time they were like, "Hey, you know what everybody's talking about? Kat Dennings. Let's double down." So they gave Kat Dennings an assistant. That was
I
like
forgot about
that was
that
like
in
the
this
bumbling
movie.
idiot, and they're like
That was kind of a
so-
wasted
so
role
it's just
when
like
you think about it.
a comedic relief to a comedic relief, and
Yeah,
it just got
that does not work.
It just got tedious.
Yeah.
So like
I forgot about that.
and there was like an entire plot line throughout the entirety of the movie that was based around Kat Dennings and her assistant, and it was just like
It's pointless.
Every
It's-
time
yeah.
they're on scene, it's just like, okay, just remove this. These scenes did not need to be filmed. Like remove that celluloid, get rid of that
I
part of the
completely
Blu-ray.
forgot about that.
I hated that.
altogether.
And her character's intelligence is trying to be exhibited
Yeah.
through the film because of that other character, the supporting actress.
Yeah.
Is it actress? Yeah.
No,
Who's
it was a guy. It was-
No, it's a dude. It's a dude.
Yeah,
That's
and then there's like the weird thing at the end where they're like, "Oh, the world's saved," and they like turn into each other and start making out, and I'm like, "Well, that's out of
That's kinda-
nowhere."
yeah. That was
That's-
kind of weird.
that's weird.
Man,
Yeah,
why? So there was some pointless
weird.
casting.
Yeah,
and,
it's
and
like-
as a producer
This casting is a really good way. of
knows
saying it.
best, is they're just trying to they're trying to please the people,
Yeah,
and they understand that Kat Dennings
yeah.
is
Don't
really
make
hot right now.
Don't make films by committee. That's how Spider-Man 3 happened. You know, like just
Was that still the Tobey Maguire?
yeah.
Natalie Portman was rather weak in this one as well.
Yeah.
I liked her in this movie. I'm sorry.
A lot of her part of this movie is like, I've got this thing inside of me, and Malekith, the dark elf, wants to like extract it, and it's like, oh, it's the ether, and it ends up being the reality stone for the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's like, oh, this is hugely important, and they got a really great actor to be Malekith, like one of the doctors. Whose name escapes me at the moment, but Doctor Who is playing Malekith, and he's under all this makeup, and it's like, oh, you're a good actor.
That would be Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, Eccleston
He
or
is a
whatever it
good
is,
doctor.
and it's like he's a great actor, but they gave him like not a lot to work with, and I felt like, and actually I remember reading when they were talking about this movie coming out, is they went for reshoots because the test audiences weren't happy that Loki died, and like the plan was, yeah, he did. He's over. This contract's done with us. Like, Loki had a 3-movie deal, which was Thor, Avengers, and Thor: The Dark World. It was like, okay, 3 movies. You're dead now. Your character's done. And the test audiences were like, no, we like him. He's the best part of Thor. They're like, kidding. Let's reshoot it and tack on this. Like,
that's probably
he's
why
not actually dead. part.
Odin just disappeared later in the movie because they had to figure out a way to get Loki back into the system.
Exactly, yeah. And it was just like, it again, don't make movies by committee. Like let whoever is the script writer like have the control of their art, right?
Yeah,
And-
but the Loki was a pretty important role in Thor Ragnarok.
Okay, guys, we're going so far off. Come on, let's bring it back right down in the middle. What did you think about fucking shitty ass? Do I really have to say that fucking stupidest movie on this list, almost.
What, Thor?
Yeah. Thor 2 sucked.
Yeah, like, so I own the Blu-ray.
Loki
and
gets out of the prison, and then shit happens.
I own the Blu-ray, and
That's all it is.
You know what the best part of the Blu-ray is?
What?
The bonus features.
Oh my! Well, that tells you a lot about
Right?
the movie.
I
Why
think
would you want to watch the movie?
It's a
If that's
two.
the best
it's
thing.
it's a 2 Blu-ray set, and the bonus features are on a second Blu-ray.
Oh,
And
really?
I am 90% certain I've watched the bonus features more than I've watched the movie. Partially because there's a scene on they did a Marvel one shot, which is like a little 15-minute vignette, where they explain that the Mandarin, Ben Kingsley's in prison, but he's being broken out by the actual Mandarin who wants to like get revenge for him sullying the Mandarin's name and be like, yeah, you used my name without my permission. Now we're going to torture you. And it's like that like little 15-minute video.
What do you think was gonna happen?
Right? I've watched that more than I've watched Thor: The Dark World. I watched it in theater. I think I got the Blu-ray like as soon as it was released. I maybe have watched it twice. And I don't think
There's
in
just
full either
There's
time.
nothing to remember of that
No.
movie.
Like,
Okay, so
for me,
what do you rate it out of 10?
Oh man, this is a 3 for me. Like
3?
this one's bad. Like I put this down there with the worst of the worst Marvel movies. Like
So what other worst is there?
like
next to it?
I still think Iron Man 2
Iron Man
is
2. Where's my boot?
worse than this.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man 2 is basically how I define bad Marvel
Other
movies.
than the beginning of Iron Man 2. 'Cause
Yeah,
we all
other-
agree
yeah.
that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah. Now
Okay.
that I've talked to you into it.
Okay. And what did you say, Curtis, again? For this movie?
For rating,
Yeah.
No, like we haven't even got to your opinion of anything.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We can't skip to the end.
I fucking hate it. On to you. Duh.
I felt like a lot of the characters' plots were kind of inconsequential. That they were minute and just didn't really go
Like
anywhere.
which characters?
Like
do you mean?
like we mentioned earlier.
Like
Kat Dennings and
Kat,
her
okay.
assistant, who it's
the male assistant.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's the comedic role that's
Yeah,
supposed
it's
to.
Name
like
none
it
of
just
us
eats
care.
up time. It doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So there's a secondary or tertiary plot line that just was kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins is awesome, but for some reason he just
love
like
him.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a minor.
And
part of
I
this
got,
movie.
I got a sense that he was just doing this for the money, and that he wasn't really acting. He was just like,
Why
okay, I'll
wouldn't
come
you?
in and
It's
do this in
fucking
2 days.
a Marvel movie. He's a smart man. Curtis, are you calling that Anthony Hopkins is full of shit or something?
For this film, yes.
Oh, come on.
So
He just
Renee
wants to make good
Rousseau,
cash.
I think that's Frigga, which is
Okay, yeah.
Thor's mother.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She spoiler,
So hot.
she dies in the film.
She dies, but she's smoking for
but
that
her
age.
role was like, I can't remember her role. It was
She's-
kind of
she's
pointless.
the mom of
and
Yeah.
Thor.
and I feel like she's such a powerful actress and a strong character, and they didn't go anywhere with it other than to fucking die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she's gonna be a lot of prequels.
But
she
I
has
did
been
like
already.
Tom.
that
Sorry.
the
I'm sorry.
character. Okay, sorry, guys. Okay, so
Sorry.
what was that big Goliath kind of thing that in the beginning of the film he turned into the beast that's indestructible? And
Yeah,
he's-
the berserker elf or whatever they want to
yeah,
call him.
the main
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And he's doing all the tasks, and he kind of like sneaks into the castle and stuff. And he's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that character. He
Yeah.
sneaks in
The
there.
special effects in this movie
and
are good.
he's all stiff looking. He kind of looks
Yeah.
like me when I'm walking around. It's like I can't really move my neck too well. And then he's indestructible, and he's just a beast. I thought that was kind of cool. Like there was some cool factor in the film, as you would imagine. It was just like the acting, the plots and stuff were irrelevant and didn't go anywhere. It was underwhelming.
It reminded me of like the Fantastic Four movies where it felt like Marvel was like, all right, we need to make another Thor movie or else somebody else is going to have the rights to it.
That's called
Like,
filler. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this movie didn't need to exist other than for the Reality Stone. That's the only reason it exists.
So the last time I actually watched this was on cable television.
Yeah.
And as you know, like it seems like there's way more commercials than there are actual content of the
It's like
program that you're watching.
It's basically an hour and a half movie.
Yeah.
You know, when you're watching it on a cable, it's like
3
expect to
hours.
spend
Yeah.
90 minutes. 90 minutes watching a movie.
Yeah. So, of course, I'm going to react differently by the way that the movie is planned out, but it's also, it is one of those cable movies that you just kind of like passively watch.
Yeah.
You're not super engaged in it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of what it deserves. So, it's a fun watch if you're not paying money for it, and I give it a 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. And what did you say, Adam?
I think I said 3.
3 out of 10?
I think I said 3.
I said 0.
Yeah, so let's just point out, okay, again, and a lot of people shit all over the DC extended universe for like, oh, DC doesn't know how to make movies. Why can't they be like Marvel? Yeah, look at Marvel Phase 2. 0 for 2.
You sound
Right?
like Rover or something.
Really? Oh, that was my Everybody Loves Raymond. Oh, okay. My wife's kind of breaking my balls. But like Marvel Phase 2, 0 for 2.
Yeah.
Like we have not liked any of these movies, either of these movies yet, and they had a shitty one in Phase 1 as well, and I'm like, it's like Marvel's not perfect, right? But we get this in the rose-colored glasses, and like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I love Marvel, but I'm like, when everyone hates on Marvel and they're like, or hates on DC and they're like, oh, Marvel's never done anything wrong. No, fuck you, they have. Like Thor: The Dark World, swing and a miss. Iron Man 2, take the bat, break it in half, stab yourself with it. Like, like this is like they've made mistakes, but then they follow it up, and I'm going to just keep talking here. They follow it up with my favorite movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to date. I love Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
There is so much fucking jam-packed action in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought I already saw this movie. I didn't. I even told Curtis after I fucking left the next day, I don't think I ever saw this movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that movie. That was
This
the first time I
movie-
ever fucking saw it.
This movie was
There's so much shit
everything.
going on.
Everything
Oh my
I love
God.
about Captain America is in this movie. It is so good. This movie,
Fucking Bucky and his
Yeah.
goddamn arm that can do anything.
yeah,
he
his
fucking
bionic
wants, like-
Soviet arm. It's like the one piece of technology the
I
Soviets
never saw
invented
this
that works.
movie.
And
I
it's
thought
always
it was
creaking
awesome.
and making these stupid noises.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Red Star.
Well,
Communism.
it's Soviet.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't lubricate it. They're like, oh, don't worry, it's uranium
Well,
powered.
it-
You know?
it will-
Uranium
it will work
power.
itself
Right.
out.
Your arm comes
It
from
will
factory
work
in
out.
Chernobyl. It's fine. Don't spin too
Don't
fast.
worry about it.
It's
Don't touch it.
no, I love Captain America, and people were, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and people like me who know what the Winter Soldier is, who he was, know that storyline. We know what's coming. Like we know Bucky's coming back. So when they do the big dramatic reveal, and like Steve Rogers goes, Bucky, and like the Winter Soldier is like, how do you know my name? And like, and I'm like, none of us were caught off guard by that, like so the uninitiated might be caught off guard, but like the comic book fans were like, yeah, cool, we knew it was coming, but didn't matter. Loved it. Christopher Evans gives an amazing performance in this movie. The guy who plays Bucky, amazing performance. Robert Redford, amazing performance.
I love Robert Redford in this
Scarlett
movie. I'm
Johansson.
such a big fan of
Scarlett
his.
Johansson, who you were shitting all over last time,
She
Tom.
did really good in this movie.
Thank you.
And I was like, is that the same girl? Because she had long hair.
Yeah.
In the other movie, she has short hair.
Yeah.
I've never seen this one before, so I'm
Oh.
like,
And
oh,
and
that's
Hawkeye.
That's Black Widow.
Yeah,
okay,
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Or sorry, not Hawkeye. Falcon.
Oops,
Falcon.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were making that same
That's
joke.
so funny. He's always like, come on your left, on
Yeah,
your
yeah.
right.
I
was
love
like, oh,
and
that's awesome.
Falcon in this movie.
Yeah, it's
And-
Anthony
and
McKay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Falcon in this
On your
movie.
left.
He's
On your
awesome,
left.
and he's a great reimagining of the character.
is.
Because again, in the comic books, Falcon's pretty corny.
I
Like,
love this
He
guy.
can fly. How can he fly? I don't know. He can fly. Also, he can telepathically talk to birds. Oh, and other animals? Nope, just birds. He's got a thing for winged creatures. Oh, so he can talk to wasps and bees too? Nope, just birds. They have to have
he's one of
hollow
my-
bones and feathers for him to talk
He's
to.
one of my favorite brothers in Marvel movies.
But I'm just like,
I love him.
I
thought
love
that was one of the coolest roles.
There's so much about this movie, and it's like it's got the best
But that's
line.
really all it
It's
has
got the
going.
best line in this in the MCU for me.
Okay, what?
When Samuel L. Jackson, when Nick Fury is like, we're going to take care of a lot of threats before they become threats, and Christopher Evans is like, I thought the punishment came after the crime, and I was like. Remember the time frame that this movie came out? Like, this came out 2013, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
there was headlines galore about drone strikes and a bunch of like, hey, we think this guy's going to do something bad, so we're bombing him while he's, at places. And it's like, here's a movie that's anti-drones, anti-U.S. Surveillance state, blah, 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 blah. And it's Captain America that's making that argument. It is the most libertarian movie I've ever seen, with the possible exception of Ghostbusters. Like, this is a movie where
I ain't
it's like,
afraid of no ghosts.
yeah, well, like, this is a movie that's all about, hey, big brother, fuck off. I have rights.
Yeah.
This is an amazing movie.
Yeah,
So
this is
you
basically
like
Mission Impossible 5.
Yeah.
the
Love
same
this.
So you
thing.
like the movie?
Love this
Adam?
movie.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Wow.
If you couldn't guess that from everything else I've said in the last
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Okay, so
Wow.
let's just kind of delve into a bit
Wow.
more of the
I'm
parts.
trying to still take this in. All right.
Okay,
10
fuck
out
off,
of
Tom.
10.
There's a lot of kick-ass in this movie for sure.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments is the bus scene when they're having the gunfight underneath the freeway, and this bus gets flipped over because Captain America got launched off of the freeway, which is like a skyway, those ones way up high.
Yeah, yeah.
He flies into the bus, and then for some reason it flips off, and he's stuck in the bus. And then later the enemy comes down in multiple groups, and the guy has a minigun.
Yeah.
He's shooting like from one end to the other end. And there's like gasoline explosions everywhere. There's so much fucking gasoline in this, actually, through the whole movie.
Oil incomparate United States of
And then he
America.
approaches the guy with the shield, like, fuck yeah, America. And
Yeah.
this is versus probably the French or something. I can't remember who the hell.
Oh, on the ship? Yeah, Batroc the Leaper.
That's late. That's in the earlier part.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's either earlier. That's
of course,
the-
you're going to have some kind of...
Oh, that French UFC guy. What's his name? Georges St. Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he's the bad guy.
Of course you would know that. Blah, 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 blah.
No, I actually have to tell him later.
Yeah, he's the one who actually corrected me. I'm not even going to lie.
No, I didn't know myself. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Anyways.
there's a whole lot of really well-made action scenes.
Yeah.
And the martial arts portion, so the hand-to-hand combat, I'm also
Very
pretty picky
cool.
about because
Yeah.
I like to see what's happening.
Yeah, no shaky cameras.
That's
damn it.
no shaky cameras,
Yeah.
but a lot of CGI
That's fine.
assist.
As long as I can
Yeah, yeah.
see it.
That's not fine, but
Yeah, I
it's
guess.
better than
But
nothing.
he's
You're
not.
right.
They're
You're
not
right.
going up against CGI characters, with the exception of the metallic arm.
Yeah,
I
agree.
it's
I agree.
people versus people. It's not like
I think
Mondo
there's a
Elf.
lot more than we think, first of all.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Curtis. Keep going ahead. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Sorry.
So the action, close-up action is great.
Yeah.
And it's very entertaining.
It
As
is.
far as just the simplicity of seeing bullets fly and people dying.
Yeah.
But in the Marvel universe, there's actually no blood. People will be getting cut in half. It could potentially be super fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Captain America doesn't kill a single person. Oh, amazing. Especially when he's throwing that shield around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
that thing
so
would
fucking
decapitate
cool
for
in this
sure.
movie,
Oh
man.
yeah. Like
He's
like
used
it's
it so many times.
we're
It's awesome.
at the minimum. It's breaking bones.
It's so deadly.
Yeah.
Okay,
then,
so
Adam, what did you rate it again? 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Curtis, what do you rate it?
I'm not done talking yet. Fuck off.
Oh, there's still more to be said. Holy shit.
There's so much more. I could go for
Okay,
round two.
so this one component was the action component, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
With some flaws, of course, but I won't get into details because I can't remember them exactly.
And we don't have that
I
much
have a-
time to begin with.
Yeah, we got all the time we want. I have
our
a
show.
really big pet peeve with Chris Evans.
What's
who
that pet
plays-
peeve?
He played Chris Evans, who plays Captain America,
Yeah. Okay.
and he's basically got this like Bieber
Lipstick
face.
look.
Okay.
There's a lipstick.
The
look.
the Justin Bieber face.
Yeah, he just has the same fucking cute boy, pretty boy face
pretty
through the
boy
whole thing. He expresses almost no emotions through the whole thing, and he's got
Such a
these fucking
lush
these lips that look like he has like
lip
he puts
gloss
on like pink
gloss.
tinted lip gloss
Yeah.
all the time. So he's always
Let me give you a kiss.
It's a super serum in him. That's,
he's just not manly.
Gotta make an excuse.
He's not manly enough.
He's not manly.
I agree.
Wait, he bicep curls a helicopter. That's not manly enough for you?
Well, not in that scene.
Well, it's because he does a lot of steroids. I mean, he's
No,
he's the epitome of drugs.
Chris Evans is a practicing Buddhist. I'm sure he eats nothing but broccoli.
He pisses me off because of his fucking beaver face. So fuck that guy.
Lipstick. Lipstick.
Duck lips should not be a
Anthony
thing.
Mackie, as Falcon. He's a funny guy.
He's awesome. I love him.
Falcon
He's one of my
is a
favorites
corny
part of the
character, like you
movies.
said, and
Yeah.
they made it more realistic
Yeah.
in terms of technology
He's
wise.
got his, like,
He's
I'm
got
on
a
your
jetpack.
left-hand side. He's like, "Stop
But
doing
he's
that."
still like, I know this is just a movie, but how is he able to like fly the machine and act with like super high intensity reflexes, and is able to say one-liners like "I'm in," like all the time. I'm
Yeah.
in.
I think we established in the first part of this podcast
Yeah.
that it, like sometimes the reason is yada yada movies.
Yeah, movies. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just kind of forget about him, but he did say that classic line, "I'm in," like
Yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah.
And Scarlett Johansson, she's also pretty mute in her acting, like it's limited, but she does a good job, and she's obviously beautiful.
And plays a really good spy in this movie, right? Because like in this movie, there's Captain America is wanted. He's a wanted man. He's a felon. And Scarlett Johansson's like, yeah, I'm a spy. I'm kind of used to hiding in plain sight. Let me show you the ropes, right? Like when they're going down the escalator, and it's like, kiss me, and he's like, what? And thinking like, this is a weird time to make that request. It's just like, no, you dumb. People
yeah, I forgot
get
about that.
uncomfortable around public displays of affection. If you kiss me, less people will look at us. And it's like, that's good spycraft. Like, good scene.
And Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury totally kicked ass.
Yeah.
And he's such a bad boy. And the scene when he gets ambushed by these police, which were like Hydra cops, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
Hydra
really,
cops.
at the time, you don't really know what's going on,
You
but
don't
they're
know.
they're all right about to retire. They're all like an age demographic for some reason. They're all looking like almost 60 years old. Like they're eating donuts, but they're going to go ambush this guy.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah. So that was an interesting scene because he gets stuck in that truck, like the Yukon.
Yeah.
You know, the GMC, like a huge GMC SUV
Yeah.
that's super souped up with like
Yeah.
amazing glass, and they to bring out that giant that knocker.
Yeah.
To break through the glass.
Yeah, battering ram, yeah.
All these cops have this crazy equipment, and then they break through. Right before he breaks through, he turns on his like little minigun that he has, and
Comes out of the center console.
it's got like four cannons on it.
Yeah. It's like your
it's like-
armrest.
It was just so badass, and then he's giving voice command to the vehicle, and then it takes off.
Tell me what works. Air
fucking
conditioning
love
is
that
fully
part of the
functional.
movie.
Yeah, and then they fucked up. Air conditioning is fully functional. That's funny.
You should have used it the whole time.
Yeah.
Give me that motherfucking air conditioning.
Yeah, he should have gone with it
100%.
and said, "Well, then give me some motherfucking air
Give me some
conditioning in here."
Motherfucking AC now.
But they didn't. They could have gone.
And okay. So this is a minor thing, but I worked in car dealerships for 14 years. The AC condenser is the easiest fucking thing to break in a vehicle.
Yeah.
And this is the first thing that's broken. Like every time that light comes up, I'm like, fuck you. The AC is not functioning. There is no Freon in that thing anymore.
Well, that's because when you make a special ops vehicle, that's the only thing they don't
that's
modify.
that's the thing that they make sure to put like Tesseract, Guardian, the Galaxy,
Give me that
Uru
motherfucking
metal
AC
around. It's
right
like, oh,
motherfucking now.
AC
I
is the
wish.
most
I
important.
wish.
But I'm like, yeah, okay,
Okay,
sorry,
so
but
that was
yeah,
a great
that's
scene.
That's a great scene.
Yeah,
and that's
I love that
it
scene.
is funny, but I always go
so
like,
fun.
nope.
And my last point is with Robert Redford. He plays Alexander Pierce.
Yeah.
I love him
yeah.
as a bad guy.
And then he flips sides.
Yeah.
He reveals the
Yeah.
true nature of his character.
Yeah.
In the film, which is pretty cool. That's what you want to see is a total change in dynamic.
And that's exactly what happened.
So he's obviously a fantastic actor, and he's been doing this for a very long time. But he's also one of these characters, he just acts like himself. He just
Yeah, we talked about this
yeah,
before.
exactly. So
Yeah, he's Robert Redford and everything.
what Tom was saying is that he just acts so sincere and believable.
Yeah.
That's because
And you can
he's
just
acting like himself. Like that is him.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
why it's so
yeah.
believable.
It's like you're just with him all the way. So no matter what he does, you're like, yeah, he did that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's insane when you see an actor or an actress, whatever, and it's like you get behind that character and you're watching the movie, and then you're like, yeah, she did that. Or he did that. Yeah, 100%. I agree. 100%.
Okay, but before we get to you, Tom, because then you're gonna rush us through to the next movie.
Yeah,
There's one other scene I want to talk about when they're in the bunker, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So they go to the military base where Steve Rogers has got
Captain America and Scarlett Johansson,
Yeah.
who plays,
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
but she's not Black Widow yet.
Not yet.
yeah,
She will be Black Widow soon. Not in that movie, though, technically speaking.
Oh, okay. Well,
Right?
At some point,
She's got the
I
mantle
know
of the
some
Black
shit.
Widow.
I know some shit's going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're on the run,
Yeah.
and then Captain America, brings them to an abandoned military base
Right.
that he knew.
You
from
noticed
the
that
40s.
an elevator shaft was not that far away.
No.
Sorry.
It was a ammunition.
Oh, an ammunition.
Ammunition shed
Oh,
was
yes,
too close to
sorry.
the barracks. He's like, that
Yes.
goes against policy.
Yeah, this
this,
shouldn't be
that,
here, and then he
something.
breaks into it, and he follows his
Yeah,
his
and
instinct.
and it
it's
pans out behind a library.
And it's like, hey, why do you need this? And I was like, why do you need a secret door inside of a secret bunker? This is some shady shit. And they go downstairs and they find Arnim Zola, and I was like, yes, this is wonderful. The little like skeevy guy from the first Captain America movie.
that bald
and
motherfucker.
The guy that's helping Red Skull with all his
you want to
inventions.
drop kick
You know,
him.
and it's like it's so great because he is such a long running villain for Captain America, and then you get and in the comic books he's basically an android. He puts his brain into a robot who's like a TV screen for a face. So when they show him on the TV screen, it's so perfect, and it's like I love that scene. And he's talking about is like Arnim Zola. That's one of those German scientists that worked for the Red Skull. And Arnim Zola's like, first correction, Mr. Rogers, I am Swiss. And I'm always like, it's
Where'd
so,
that come from?
It's so wonderful.
Where'd that come from?
I love this movie so much, and that scene's great. And it's like, by the way, I've been distracting you. We've put a bunker buster on the way. Goodbye, Mr. Rogers.
That's actually Toby Jones is the actor.
yeah.
I know him from Harry Potter and The Chamber of Secrets. I recognize him from that film, and really good English actor.
Just killer scene, like everything.
Is there any other comment you want to do on this movie before
Yes.
we put to bed?
Yes, I do, because this movie compares and contrasts so well with my other favorite comic book movie, The Dark Knight. Okay. So,
But that's like DC.
yeah, it's DC, but it's the other movie that people hold up as being like the pinnacle, right?
Well,
like Heath
we're not going to get into that today.
but Heath Ledger's the Joker, right? And Christian Bale is Batman. And think about the DC the Nolan versus Batman movies, the trio there. How he beats the Joker is wiretapping, right? Just being like, hey, I don't have a warrant, but I'm going to wiretap everybody in Gotham. We're going to do this. It's the greater good. I'm Batman. I'm good. You should trust me with this power. Captain America's like, hey, I am the epitome of Americana, and I oppose wiretapping. These movies are diametrically opposed in their message. I love them both for different reasons, but it's like this movie is just so perfectly done. 10 out of 10. I love this movie.
All right, okay. So Adam, 10 out of 10. Curtis.
Okay, so the reason why I'm not going to give this a 10 out of 10, this is a relative, by the way.
Oh, of course.
Relative to other Marvel films.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't particularly like the genre, but I do like if I get to laugh a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll call this a 9 out of 10.
All right. Not enough humor.
Yeah, and there will be a 10 out of 10, but that's probably going to be next episode.
All right.
For some fucking reason, I don't know why I have to do this. It's not like there's a gun behind me right now. Adam, take a couple steps away, man. It's not worth it, buddy. You have a whole life ahead of you. Just give me another chance. Give me another chance, Adam.
What's your rating, Tom?
Just give me another chance, buddy.
What's your rating, Tom?
I don't want to say.
What's your rating, Tom? What's your rating, Tom?
I'm giving this 10 out of 10. I
Yeah.
fucking love this movie. I haven't seen it, like I said before, ever.
That's a good point.
It's just jam fucking packed. Jam packed from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It's like, you think you can go to the bathroom and take a piss?
Nope.
You can't.
I thought
took
those
a
air
pi-
carriers were badass.
Yeah, those air carriers.
Oh, the helicarriers?
So
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I went down, took a piss, came back, looked at the movie. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And Curtis is like, I just grabbed a couple more tacos from the kitchen. I'm like, holy fuck, what did I miss? Like,
We had a talk tonight.
Nice.
it was insane.
No.
So much cool fucking action,
Yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah, yeah.
I loved it. Like I said,
I
I'm following Adam into the depths of Mordor. 10 out of 10.
I might
11 out
rewatch
of
this movie
10.
tonight. I love this movie.
It was so cool.
Excellent.
It's probably one of my favorite on all this list that we're doing today.
Yeah,
So-
it's a hell of a lot better than the first one.
Oh goddamn, so much.
Well,
fucking
I love
better.
the first one, but yeah, I remember that you didn't care for it too much, but I loved the first one.
It's not memorable. Oh yeah. So would you maybe you might want to move your mic down just a little bit, like point it towards your chin a bit, so that way,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do, Tom. That's cool.
I
All
hear you,
right,
buddy.
all right. Next movie up,
Yeah.
Next movie,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I fucking loved it. It's like a movie that was based around a fucking soundtrack.
Yeah,
It's like you put a cassette tape or a vinyl on, and then whatever song comes on, that's how the movie goes. That's how I felt like when I watched this movie. It's very
Right?
cool.
I can't stop this.
A bunch of characters
feeling.
I never met before.
A bunch
And,
of characters a lot of people had never.
Yeah.
And again, I'm the quote unquote Marvel expert on this panel. I had never read a Guardians of the Galaxy.
I
comic
never
book.
knew of
I didn't know
anybody-
who they were. I was like, who? What? There's a tree in this
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah, there is.
Disney is doing this. We're going to make a tree and a raccoon, two of the most beloved movie characters of the
I watched
20
this
teens.
twice.
What?
I watched this twice in theaters. And I
Yeah.
probably watched it like another 5 times at
Yeah.
home. And I like it every single time. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of awesome characters. I love that Batista, a wrestler from
Yeah.
WWF.
Yeah, a real world meathead playing a meathead.
Yeah,
A professional meathead.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
He is so likable in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
so
really
is
nice.
the raccoon.
Bradley Cooper
so
plays
is,
Rocket
like,
Raccoon. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
green skin lady.
Like the casting's
Gam-
good. Like,
Gamora-
of course, it's going to be
Green
Bradley
Skin
Cooper.
Lady. Well,
Gamora,
yeah.
Gamora, played by Zoe
Gamora,
Saldana,
Yeah. And yeah, I am Groot.
and another Chris.
Vin Diesel plays
Star-Lord.
Groot,
Yeah.
which is kind of like.
You get one of the most epic voices in Hollywood.
Well, do you remember Iron Giant?
Yeah,
Well, that was Vin Diesel's
Yeah.
first casting,
yeah.
and so that's kind of a tribute maybe to that in some
Maybe.
kind of way
It's
because
also a Disney movie.
there
isn't
was
it?
very little dialogue in the Iron Giant.
So, okay, guys, hold on. I'm still starting this one off.
All
So,
right.
it's an awesome movie.
Oh, what's your like? You're not done yet.
I'm not done yet.
Get on with it!
I love the movie.
Are you not
entertained? Bring out the dead.
Bring out your dead.
I'm not dead yet.
He's got better.
Look, I love the movie. I went to the theaters. I saw this. It's a bunch of characters, and I have no idea who the fuck they are. And I got
Yeah.
right into it, and I could believe them. I could back them up. I thought it was a fantastic fucking movie. Like a bunch of cool effects, a bunch of cool characters you never met before. It's like another version of Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. You know, it's like a bunch of other people to back up.
That's
and-
high praise.
Yeah, it is. But
I don't know if I go that far.
you know what?
but
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I do like this movie.
It's probably one of the one of my favorite movies that we're covering today. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be one
yeah.
of the better movies out of all of them.
It's got
All
that
the
laugh
characters
factor
are
we're
awesome.
looking for.
Yeah, you know what? And it's got that.
Oh, there's
it
so
does
many
have that
cool
really good
characters.
balance. And again, to what you said at the beginning, this has the best soundtrack.
Such a good soundtrack.
Oh my god!
like the
I will,
movie's
I
built
will
around it.
admit that the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, and I know exactly what it is. It's just like, hey, let's look at the algorithm for what songs had the most nostalgia and let's throw them in there. I love this. I love this movie, and I love the sequel for its soundtrack. Like,
Yeah, me too.
these movies have the best soundtracks, but that's because the whole gimmick is like he's got his little Walkman from when he got abducted by aliens in the 80s, and he's listening to a mixtape, and it's like, yeah, of course he's gonna have a mixtape of the greatest hits, because what are you gonna do? Make a mixtape of mediocre songs? No, you're gonna make them of the best songs. So it's like, it works. It's explained in the movie, so it makes 100% sense. And it's like, there's some really good scenes in this movie, like when, again, with the Walkman, when he's like, "You're touching my Walkman," and he like goes, and they're like, "Oh, all right, we're just gonna tase you, bro." And he's like, "No, that's my Walkman. I don't care if you tase me. Stop it." And it's like, yeah, that's great. And then like Rocket Raccoon's like, "Oh, we're gonna break out of here, and I need this, and I need this, and I need that guy's leg." And
I need that guy's leg.
and it's like, turns out the leg wasn't necessary. It's like, what, you stole that? Oh my god, that's hilarious. I'm like, that's great. That's
yeah,
that
you
is-
need that kind of comedic factor.
yeah, that's great. The storyline where like we get this is the first movie to really like we technically meet Thanos in Avengers. Here we meet Thanos, and we see who he is and what he's doing. He's like, all right, I'm sending out Ronan the Accuser, and you're gonna go destroy the Nova Corps. And my daughter is going to help you hunt down Infinity Stones. And then, like, Gamora's like, I hate my daddy. And I'm like, yeah, he wants to murder half of all people. He's got 2 kids. So there's a 50-50 shot you're one of them. Like, just saying. Like, this is, like, Zoe Saldana gives a great performance. Bradley Cooper gives a great performance.
Who's Bradley Cooper again?
Rocket Raccoon.
Right.
Okay,
thank you.
Who's the guy that's the head of the Nova Corps that's like, there's a group full of assholes. He's like
Who
this
the fuck
comedian
is
that I
that?
can't remember his name, but he's just like he's just like this little throwaway character. But
Is
he's
that John C. Riley?
yes, John C. Riley.
That's
No,
Corpseman
it's,
D.
no,
yeah.
really?
And I'm like, he's one of my favorite parts of this movie, and he's like in it for like 5 minutes. But I'm like, I love him. And he's like, this is a group of assholes, and then people
Yeah.
are like,
This is a group of
you
assholes.
swore. We don't swear in the Nova Corps. And I'm just love it.
I felt like that the villains. This is also my pet peeve with like the universe. Is
Yeah.
the villains are unbelievable and ridiculous.
Yeah,
I didn't like
that.
them.
That is the fault of this movie. Is Ronan the Accuser?
They're so
sucks.
corny, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, get the
It
fuck
was
out.
kinda corny.
Ronan the Accuser is just a caricature. Like, he's so bad. He's like, you are sinners and infidels, or whatever verbiage he used. But I'm fairly certain he calls people infidels. And then he's like, death. And I was like, oh, cool. We're going to talk about like the belief structure, apparently, of Ronan the Accuser. And we're going to get into that. Nope, that's as depth as we get. He is a 2-dimensional character. He is so paper thin, it's annoying to me. So yeah, he's where the movie falls flat to me.
Yeah, like all the main villains are very 2-dimensional.
Yeah, well, if not all, definitely most.
Okay, so I think this movie is tapping into the fad of like South Park's member berries, the nostalgia factor.
Oh man, I remember Chewbacca.
Yeah, the member, this is them tapping into the fad of retro stuff, and it's fun. It's good.
Not that nostalgia's bad.
That's not as bad, but it's to me, it's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
you're just tapping into this other market now. So
Thanks. That felt great on my ears.
sorry about that. I was just like grabbing the mic like a dick. Okay, so Chris Pratt, comedic relief,
Yeah,
very funny.
that's his name. Thank you.
Yeah, there
I
you
just
go.
remembered the Chris.
Dave
I
Bautista.
loved him. He was so cool.
He's like the obvious meathead. He does a great job.
But he wrestled for WWF.
he does have kind of a good storyline, and it's
Yeah,
like, my
yeah.
wife and daughter died, and
He's,
he's like,
he's believable.
he's
Yeah.
like okay,
love
so
him.
in it's kind of established in this movie that he's supposed to be an imposing warrior, and he's got those 2 big machete blades that he's like,
Yes.
I am ready to go up against a god
I want to see him
with
suplex
2
more
knives.
people.
And
More
I'm like,
suplexes.
the guy's pretty badass, right? Like he's dumb. Don't get me wrong, he's dumb, but he's also badass. And I think at a certain point, to be that badass, you got to be a little dumb. And it's like, all right, this guy's basically a god, and you're like, cool. I've got a spaceship with weapons, or I've got these 2 knives. I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and then eventually in some of the climactic battles where it's like a space battle, it's the genre. I get it. It's just it's overdone, and everyone's on a goddamn green screen.
Yeah.
There's almost nothing real.
No, none.
Other than the actors,
Yeah.
and then like a couple props
only-
that which
and
are
only,
touching.
Like really, only Chris Pratt. Everyone else is either in practical effects or CGI.
Yeah. So the whole movie, no one really knows what they're looking at while they're acting,
Yeah.
because that's all post production is when the visuals are created.
Yeah.
So they were given a script, and that's also an interesting thing. So if you consider the fact that they're imagining what they're seeing based on what the directors are trying to explain to them, the actors.
James Gunn does this, doesn't he?
I have to check later.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I kind of get detached in these epic battle scenes where
Yeah.
it's all super CGI. There's nothing real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing's
but as long as it
handmade.
happens pretty quickly, it's awesome.
And
You know?
No, I'm with you because
I kind of get detached, and then all I can imagine is
again,
this,
that's why I kind of like that in Iron Man 3, Tony's outside of the suit, and why I like the hand-to-hand combat in Captain America. Like, it's showing actual actors acting, not drawings replacing actors acting. Right? I get what you're saying, and you know, it's not a huge thing for me. But I do get it. I totally get that.
I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to animatronics and real life special effects.
Yeah, well, you are wearing a monocle right now, so yes.
Yeah, I can see that from here.
That's all I have to say. You want to get my rating?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear the rating.
Okay, so this is one of the funniest Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And I
I
appreciate
agree.
that.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
It's a fun
super
movie.
fun.
I've seen it probably 3 times.
Super fun.
I've seen it so many times. I love it. I will watch it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. So this is like probably 8 out of 10
Cool.
in the Marvel universe.
That's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good rating.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You're an 8?
No, I'm a 10 out of 10. I
Oh, you're a
loved it.
10.
I've seen it so many times, and I'll keep watching it. I thought this
Yeah.
is such a cool fucking movie.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like the soundtrack makes the whole movie.
Soundtrack kills it.
Like, the soundtrack is so cool. So when you're watching it,
Yeah.
you keep hearing these old fucking tunes.
Yeah.
And you keep seeing the cassette player or something. And if you don't, it just comes in and out of it.
I
And there's cool scenes, and they get arrested together.
yeah.
And it's
What
just
a
a bunch
bunch
of
of
cool shit.
assholes.
When you can get arrested with one of your buddies and you get out of it, it's a
Yeah.
pretty good movie.
Oh man. Okay, rating for me.
10 out of
Jeepers.
10.
No, it's not a 10 for me. I like this movie, and I'm trying to think like if I can name a fault. Again, okay, so the villain falls flat for me. I think Ronan's a poorly written character.
Is that
and
the
he's-
guy with the giant chin, or is that another character?
No, Thanos is the guy. With
Yeah,
the giant
fuck
chin.
that guy.
Guy with the hammer.
Yeah,
Like
he's OP, man. He's super OP.
yeah.
Yeah, the
But
black-
that's a different review.
Black metal fucking makeup guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that guy.
Norwegian death metal hammer swinger.
Yeah,
you know,
that guy.
He's well now I know he's Norwegian, so now I really know it. Jeez. I don't know. This movie's fun. I love the soundtrack. I love a lot of the actors' performances in it. The villain's dumb, but I still like this movie. And I don't here's one of the ways that I judge a movie. Are there scenes that I take my cell phone out and I start checking Facebook rather than watch the movie? And I don't with this movie. Even if the characters are dumb in this movie, I so enjoy it that it sucks me in for the entire runtime. So I think I'm gonna go with you. It's an 8 out of 10. I was thinking it was gonna be 7, but I'm like, you know
Two
what?
8
No,
out
I
of
gotta
10s.
give it that benefit because I don't check my cell phone during this movie, and I think that's got to be my cutoff for like an A minus is like don't check your cell phone, so it's an A minus, and then you go up from there.
Is that the highest rated Marvel movie we've voted for so far?
10, 8, and 8. Yeah, it's a cumulative score of 26. I think that's probably the best scoring. No, because we both gave Captain America Winter Soldier 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave that 10 out of 10.
So it's between Captain America.
Wow. Okay, so that's saying a lot, man.
Apparently, we like this one a lot.
It's
Yeah.
a good movie.
But
it really
again,
is.
the soundtrack's a huge part of my 8. Like I love the soundtrack.
Yeah,
There's-
soundtrack is awesome.
You know, it's a good movie. Like it's this isn't art. This isn't something that you're going to say in 50 years. Listen here, kids. You want to know what movies could be? Go watch Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what art was when I was a kid. That's how we're all going to talk in 50 years, by the way. So
I believe
get
it.
practicing.
The 2050s back.
Yeah, back in 2069, giggity, we're all going to be talking like this, giggity. Just saying. All right, so next movie up. All right. Avengers 2, Age of Ultron.
I loved it. I love that movie. I thought it was so much fun.
Yeah.
A piece of the earth goes up in the fucking thin air,
Yep.
and there's a bunch of awesome superheroes on it, and they're trying to save the world.
All right.
I thought it was so fucking awesome. I loved everything.
Explain
about
to
the
me why the only part of the movie I can remember is that climactic battle scene that goes on
because
forever.
it's the coolest part of the
Because that's
movie.
half the movie?
Yeah,
off.
man, it's awesome. I love.
Well,
it.
I'm like, yeah, it's
Fucking dude. If I could, 12
It-
out of 10.
it-
I love it.
It's just a big fight.
it is.
I love Age of Ultron. If
They-
someone's like, "Hey, do you want to watch Age of Ultron?" I'd be like, "Yep."
So the Avengers movies have a blessing and a curse, right? In that it's like now you've got the 6 biggest characters in the universe, plus a villain, plus whatever subplots you want to add in. So there's so many characters to divide screen time that you don't have a real plot line to drive the movie. So it's very simplistic.
Yeah, no real plot line over the course of 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Yeah.
No, it was awesome. I loved that
That's exactly.
movie.
Yeah. So it's a little bit like if you upturned a toy chest as a child and you just smashed all the action figures together. Been like, all right, now Thor's fighting Ultron. Okay, now Thor, Captain America's fighting Ultron. Now Hulk is fighting Iron Man. Blah blah blah. And it's just like, cool. It was the same problem with the first Avengers movie in that there wasn't anything being said. There wasn't really a plot. It was just like, hey, we can do this. We're the first people to be able to do this. And Avengers Age of Ultron, hey, we beat DC to this well twice. Let's do it again. And James Spader as Ultron, his voice is amazing. For him to be Ultron and like I still remember.
Kind of feels like somebody who should have been hired for Transformers or G.I. Joe back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Has a really good voice.
He's got an amazing voice, and I still remember the trailer when and I guess is the benefit of Disney owning Marvel is the trailer comes out and James Spader is doing this slow spoken word version of Pinocchio's "I ain't got no strings to hold me down," but it's super creepy.
Yeah, it
and
is
it's like
creepy.
basically like just imagine Hannibal Lecter singing you a lullaby, and it's like that's the feeling of the trailer. It's like, yes, and it's like there's some really great scenes in this movie, but there's not a great plot.
Yeah.
Right?
And it really comes down to me is the nitpicking the details. I'm
Yeah.
a detail-oriented
Yeah.
person, and I think they just brush past all that shit and
Yeah.
go for the big flashy stuff
Yeah.
the whole way through.
They did.
Right.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my pet peeves is like how Americans always have some person do a bad Russian accent. And in
What
this
do you
case,
mean? What do you mean by that?
it's Elizabeth Olsen. She plays Wanda Maximoff, and she's got that Russian accent. She's from fucking like Los Angeles.
I don't
Who is
know what
this?
you mean. Very.
Who is it?
This
Who are you
is
talking about?
all right. The Olsen twins from the Full House. Yes. How do you say? How do you say in America? The full Borisnikov. Yes.
So, what you're saying is that
Oh,
just a couple
she's
people
and her
on-
accent and I like it's so yeah. It's okay. So she is standard Eastern European accent thing from Sokovia, and it's like, hello, this is me. This is my voice. This
It's
sound
a
natural.
joke. It's
Yeah.
so American.
It's
It
so
pisses me
it's
off.
just so bad acting, and it's like really this is your introduction to like I've never seen her in a movie or anything else. Like I don't know how you got this role. Like why? I'm with you.
Why? Just why?
During the climactic battle, one of the characters, I guess, dies.
Oh, Quicksilver.
another pointless character.
Yeah, but he's
I bet
His whole point is
I bet you
to
didn't
hang
see
out
that coming.
and then die to cause dramatic
Yep.
impact.
Yep.
And then the clip, I guess, which is the character that has like the psychic kinetic.
that's her sister.
Scarlet Witch, the Olsen twin, the non-twin,
The
Olsen
non-twin.
Vanda Maximoff.
Maximoff.
The one with the red.
So Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, Wanda Maximoff and Petra Maximoff are Magneto's children in the comic
That makes
books,
sense.
right? So in this, they're not allowed to mention mutants because that was still owned by Fox
Okay.
at the time.
I was so confused.
So they're like, all right, how are we going to explain that we're bringing in mutants? And like, there's a post-credit scene after one of the Marvel movies, I can't remember which one, where they introduce Wanda Maximoff and Quicksilver, and they're like, and it was like Baron von Strucker, the guy that they fight in the very first scene of the movie, the guy with the monocle. They're like, we've found these people. And he looks like straight at the children and then looks at the camera. He's like, these aren't people, they're miracles.
And I'm so on the nose.
And I'm just like, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
We don't believe in mutants.
I like the
they're
acknowledge that in the film.
miracles. And it's just like, perfect. Screw you, Fox. You can't keep us from using them.
And then this climactic battle scene that's like an hour long. Basically, the whole movie it touches on everything. It does all the cliches.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are you going to do with a scene that long with that many characters? You have to do all the cliches. Like with the character of that one Quicksilver guy dying.
Yeah.
Which is probably his whole point for the whole movie.
Yeah.
It was to cause like, and then you see like one of those Olsen twins going, "Wah!" And then she blows up all the machines around her, and then you're like,
But she is okay. Again, you want to talk overpower. Scarlet Witch is overpowered. Like that
Yeah.
woman bends reality with her mind.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she is the reality stone as a person. Like this woman, if she ever reaches her potential in the movies or in Disney Plus, like this woman shapes everything.
Yeah.
There's a really good scene though with Hawkeye, and it's during the hour-long final battle where he's like, hey, if you go through this door, you're an Avenger. I'm fighting with a bow and arrow against robots that have a vibranium shell. None of this makes sense. But I'm gonna fight till my last breath. So if you join me, you fight too. And I'm like, I like that the kind of wink and nod that it's like, hey, this guy's got a bow and arrow.
Yeah, they recognize that.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
this
They're
is-
honest.
This is stupid.
And like,
I'm like
what,
fucking
your
Robin
last
Hood,
point
God damn it.
about the mutant thing,
Yeah.
the universe is combining, and that point is the honesty that they're portraying and behind
Yeah.
the scenes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, there's some good scenes in this one, and I think this movie probably has one of my favorite Stan Lee cameos in it because they do the party after the so like they have the opening scene where they go and they find the Baron von Strucker and they get the Loki scepter. And they're like, yeah, we got it. We're going to throw a party because that's what responsible people do. We got this weapon of mass destruction. We're going to have a bunch of alcohol around it. Nothing could go wrong, right? And they everybody's inviting who they like. So it's like Tony's inviting like a bunch of models and like famous people. Everybody's got who they got, but Captain America invites a bunch of like D-Day veterans. And Stan Lee is one of them. He's got like a Omaha Beach veteran hat on, and he looks at Thor. He's like, "Hey, give me some of that." And Thor's like, "I don't know. This is the fermented elixir from Jotunheim. Like this isn't what humans drink." And Stan Lee's like, "Hey, I was on Omaha Beach there, kid. I can handle everything." And he like takes one sip and gets sloshed, and he's like, "Excelsior!" And I'm just like, yes, thank you so much for that.
I mean, that sounded like a longer Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah, it is. It's a long. It's got a the cameo has a plot line.
I mean, yeah, usually they're only 5 seconds long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's just to see him, one, acknowledging his age, and then two, just being like, hey, I'm going to have a little bit of a backstory in this one. Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
And again, just the fact that Captain America's like, I'm going to invite my friends, and they're veterans from World War II because, yes, he's a veteran from World War II. It's not like he's like gone out and made a bunch of young people friends. It's like, hey, I want to talk to people about the 1936 Dodgers. Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Fucking baby face.
yeah. But, okay. Next podcast I got. Yeah.
How about you don't touch those symbols there, Curtis?
Yeah, I know you're watching me the whole time. What's next? What's up? Yeah, my rating. Your rating?
Oh, we could be done with this movie because again, there's no plot to talk about. So it's like Spader gives a good performance. Everybody gives their good performances. Tony Stark is really the villain of this movie. Like he's the villain of most of his movies. He creates his own bad guys, right? And so it's like, I don't know. I check my cell phone in this movie, so yeah, 7.
You what?
I will check my cell phone. There's scenes where I like tune out,
Okay,
and I'm like,
yeah.
I'll double check my email because this is a boring scene. Yeah, 7 out of 10.
Wow. Like, I thought it'd be lower. Like, if you're checking your cell phone.
Yeah, but I'm like, I still really like the movie. Like, it's fun, but it's not art, right? So it doesn't it doesn't draw me into the world. So I'm like it's a 7 out of 10. Like, there's not like a lot that I would change because like there's not a lot you can change. I don't think you can make an Avenger movie and really cram it full of a meaningful plotline story because there's too many characters to go through. So I think it's limited just by the fact that it's like, hey, look, we've got 12 characters that we want to have plotline in 140 minutes.
Give it a break. It's probably fucking awesome considering what they're given.
Yeah.
I thought it was an awesome movie.
Yeah. 4 out of 10.
What?
All right. What? All right.
Little entertainment value for myself.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's valid. Tom, what's your score? You could balance this out.
Yeah, he said earlier 12 out of 10.
Oh, that's right.
We're
You
still
did.
talking about Age of Ultron?
Yeah, that's right.
12 out of 10.
All right, so
I
10 out of 10.
love this movie.
So
Such a good
cumulative
movie.
score of 21, so it averaged out to 7 between
Such
the three of
a
us.
wicked ass movie.
Right? So hey,
Yeah.
I came right down the middle.
Think about all
And,
the fucking awesome superheroes.
believe- I don't
wanna think about it.
ones.
Moving on.
No. Now we
All
go.
the superheroes.
All right. And this is so Phase 2 Marvel doesn't end with Age of Ultron. It ends with Ant-Man for some goddamn reason.
Maybe it was just filmed earlier and the release was badly timed, or
I don't know. I think
it's a complicated process. making these
I
films,
feel
as we
like
know.
I feel like Kevin Feige just didn't want to like introduce Ant-Man and then be like, all right, now we do Age of Ultron because
Who's Kevin? What?
Kevin Feige, he's the head of Marvel that oversees all of these movies. So in the comic books, Ant-Man is the guy that creates Ultron, right? So when they announced that they're
Sorry,
doing Age of
guys.
Ultron and then doing Ant-Man, like myself, I thought they would like introduce Ant-Man as like a Stark employee that was like, hey, by the way, I've been working on this. Pfft, all right, here's Ultron, but then he like becomes a hero in Age of Ultron, and then like he gets a spin-off movie after that. No, he's not even referenced. So then we get
Yeah, he's way out of there. Like he has nothing to do with it.
we get Ant-Man, and I'm like, I've watched this movie once. That should say something.
I thought it was really funny.
I didn't see it in theater. I own the DVD. I don't think I even bought a Blu-ray of this. I think I bought the Blu-ray or the
Hey,
DVD.
these are one of those movies that if you had on VHS, it'd be cool.
Yeah, but it's like it's a heist.
cool
Like it's a
VHS
heist
movie.
movie. Like it's a fairly decent
Yeah.
heist movie. It's a little bit like Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
But
There's a sweet montage.
yeah, there's
Super
a good
cool.
montage. There's so many ant puns. Oh my god.
Well, it's Ant-Man. Come on.
Oh, it's Mark Antony.
Yeah,
Like,
but
can we just insert a sound effect there of somebody going, ugh?
don't make jokes about Anthony because he died by a bullet.
Good.
Yeah, I was pretty sad about that
What,
ant.
actually?
Well, the ant
Oh.
The ants
was
did.
shot.
Yeah, but then another ant flew in because they're fucking ants.
That's an egg.
you got replaced pretty quick.
Yeah, like there's a queen somewhere going, "Oh, you need more babies?"
Here you go.
You know, they come marching out of me, right, man?
Okay,
Yes,
so,
marching two by
As
two.
Tom may know, I hated that movie.
Curtis hates it.
No, listen. Hey, wait a second. Hey, come on, guys.
Hates.
So at first, I watched it a
Like
couple
the
of years ago,
Visigoths.
and I didn't pay attention. I maybe was in a bad mood.
Yeah,
Just wasn't doing it for me. I don't think I even finished it the first time around.
yeah.
And in preparation for this episode, are you okay in there, Tom?
I just hit my microphone again.
You're wasted. And I watched this movie again the other night.
Yeah.
A similar situation, just home alone and doing my thing, and I enjoyed it a lot more this time that I was actually paying attention to it. Now, I appreciated a lot of parts to it,
Yeah.
and the casting was actually quite well done. I feel the acting was good, and it was a heck of a lot better than the first time I watched it when I was reading, when I was taking it all in. And yes, it is funny. Like Tom was like, give it a chance. It's basically a comedy.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. And I laughed. Like there was multiple times where I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
And it has to do with the irony of it. The irony of like the train scene when they're fighting and the kids
Okay, the Thomas the Train
Thomas
Engine.
the Train stuff. And
Okay,
then
that made me giggle.
and then it zooms in and it's intense and
And they got like the stereotypical train sound effects.
yeah.
Like it really sounds like this thing's going 200 miles an hour and it's barely down. And
Yeah, it has to do with consequence and inconsequence. So in their world, when they're shrunken down and they're fighting to the death and they're throwing these giant things together, and it's like, oh my god, it's so huge, and their strength is amazing. And then you go to the vantage point of the main character's daughter, and all I hear is like the sound of Thomas the Train falling off the tracks, for example. And then later they bring that to the next level where Ant-Man is using that macro and micro disc to cause it to grow or shrink. And then like Thomas the Train, the little
crushes the cop
plastic
car or whatever
thing
it
gets
is.
jacked up so big it's bigger than the house and flies out and is giant. And there's the ant that gets expanded and turns into a dog, and they have it's ridiculous and it's funny. And you just gotta like let loose and let it happen. And I'm a biologist and I like ants.
All right.
And
I think they're gross.
I think,
Ew.
and also it was interesting that they had like 4 different kinds of ants, and they explained the different traits of all the different kinds of ants. And
Was that accurate at
Yes.
all? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that
I just assumed that was just yada yada movie.
there's some of that involved, of course. They
Yeah.
oversimplified a lot of these things, but these species of ants are more or less yes, those do exist.
I see in my mind it was all as believable as the fire ants in like the 4th Indiana Jones movie where they eat a person in 30 seconds, and I'm like, I was just like, ugh. like if you want to put my view of this movie in a sound clip, it's
So I guess again, I'm kind of biased because I'm looking for that laugh factor. Because I guess I get turned off when these Marvel movies take themselves too seriously,
yeah.
and which it's not really a huge problem. They really don't per se, but this is a really unserious Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And
This is as unserious as they get.
yeah, and it was a joke movie, and actually that's probably what I liked. It was a joke,
Yep.
and yeah, it was a step away from. It's in the Marvel universe, but it's kind of a step away from the other films that we talked about earlier. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's a heck of a lot different than any other Marvel film.
I would say this movie was the first of its kind because nothing else was like this intentionally.
But
First of its kind, how?
It's interesting that the first time I watched it, I was totally disconnected.
How
and
is
then
this
I was
the
mad,
first of its
totally
kind?
mad about it. And then the
Okay.
second time I watched it, I really enjoyed it.
So within the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Yes.
every movie was very intentionally like we're building on a plot, like we're trying to build something. Even the stinkers were like we are building towards something. So like Iron Man 2, they're like, oh, by the way, you need to like level your bookshelf, and he's got Captain America's shield to do that. And like Agent Coulson's like, where did you get that? And he's like, oh, my dad had this lying around. It's some prototype he built. And it's like, hey, that's gonna come to mean something when you see Captain America's movie, because Howard Stark built his shield. And they're like, oh, and this, and it's like, oh, and we got to go to New Mexico to get the hammer out of the ground. Wonder what they're talking about. And it's like, all right, even in the stinker, they were trying to build towards something.
This one is simple.
This one was self-contained and just like, hey, watch it, don't watch it. It doesn't have a huge influence on the plot going forward.
In the world, yeah.
Yeah, like within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you can skip this movie and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just and it I will agree that it's a comedy. It's like it's somewhere between it's somewhere between Mission Impossible and just like Blank Check, that really cheesy 90s Disney movie where a kid becomes a millionaire for no reason, and there's a lot of like comedy. And I'm like, yeah, like I get what you're saying is that it's very different than
Have you
the
seen
other
it
one.
once?
Yeah, like
Oh, watch
once
it again.
once maybe twice, but
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so
It grew on me, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the villain is so stupid. Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, forget about that guy.
Yeah, the Yellow Jacket.
I
is
How did he
forget
get
about
into
that
that
guy.
suit? They're in a helicopter having the final fight. I mean,
Yeah.
as you would think, the final fight, which
Yeah.
is actually kind of, it's pretty funny because they're fighting in a tiny little space
Yeah,
in
in
the
a
back of a
briefcase,
helicopter.
right?
Eventually, they end up in a briefcase that is falling out of the helicopter. So they're having a giant fight, and then like
Yeah.
an MP3 player or a cell phone or something turns on. So you have this kind of ironic music playing while
Yeah.
they're fighting in the case, falling from the sky into the ground. It's
whatever.
it's well thought.
Yeah.
But prior to that, somehow the main villain, the scientist,
Yeah.
the deranged scientist, somehow gets into the Hornet suit, and they don't show that in any way.
Yellow Jacket, but yeah.
Yellow Jacket. Okay,
Yeah,
so
he's called the Yellow Jacket,
That's right.
sorry.
That's correct. He somehow gets into the Yellow Jacket suit, and they have no explanation of how to do that. And the Yellow Jacket suit is like 2 centimeters tall.
Yeah. And well, and just like Ant-Man when he's like, all right, I'm going to try this suit on in the bathtub, and like it takes him 30 seconds. I'm like, all right, you're into some kinky shit
And
if
it's
you can get into that
Perfectly
suit
fitted. Perfectly fitted. for
that
that guy.
quickly.
He
Yeah.
just knows how to get it done, man.
Yeah, it's like somehow, you know, the first Ant-Man was like getting measurements for Scott Lang, being like, by the way, I've got this perfectly fitted, even in the crotch area. It's like, wow, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
You know?
I was actually pretty impressed by the scene in which Ant-Man kind of sacrifices himself to destroy the Yellow Jacket by going subatomic and sneaking into Yellow Jacket's suit.
Right.
That was cool.
And then
Yeah.
what happens is when he goes subatomic, he basically gets smaller and smaller and smaller in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Infinitely smaller.
Yeah.
And then the way that they show that visually
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
was kind of psychedelic in a way, man. And that was really sweet. And like, how is he going to get out of there? And then, oh wait, I have that like
power-
macro disc
The
thing.
well, and Daddy, the power of love.
And he's like,
Oh
Let me
yeah,
think of something.
Something to live for.
yeah, and then somehow he gets perfectly back into proportion. He puts that little macro disc that he throws to make things big. And when he's like infinitely small, he
Yeah.
puts it into his belt, which is not meant to be tapered with, apparently.
Yeah.
And that and
They've
it stays
established
himself.
this in the movie
Earlier, yeah.
and they whenever they say that, you know, that's not coming.
And
back.
then it like loosely fits into this thing, and somehow it works.
It's like there's
And
a
then
spot designed for it.
No, it's not at all. Actually, it like barely fit in there, and it's like loose, and somehow it's going to work perfectly. And then he expands perfectly in proportioned,
Yeah.
and back into his daughter's room, and then
You're
the
looking,
movie
you
ends.
guys are looking into this so much. It's insane.
I told you details. Man.
yeah,
details.
details. I can
Yeah,
see it
That's
now.
what I like.
I did like the Thomas the Tank Engine scene. I'll give
It's
you.
funny. There's
I'll-
some pretty funny
Yeah.
stuff.
I'll give
Funny.
you that one.
Yeah, and then a really good montage scene, and then the cliche.
Oh, with him training,
Yeah.
like he's trying to dive through the keyhole, and it's like
So
keeps like
cool.
slamming into the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was
and then the cliche of like the girl who hates him
yeah.
and then kind of falls in
Yeah.
love with him later.
Yeah.
which is it's cool. It's good.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
super
and
hot.
she's from
too.
Lost, right?
Is she?
Yeah, it is. That's Katie from Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised.
She's Wasp in the next movie.
Ugh, let's not get started on
I
that.
don't know anything about that.
Let's not get started on that movie.
Man and
oh
Wasp.
my god.
I mean, they alluded to her getting into a suit at the end of this
Oh,
one.
she's super
Yeah,
spicy.
and that was
Spicy.
that was a scene that reminded me a little bit of like the first Iron Man when not Don Cheadle, but the guy Don Cheadle replaced looks at the War Machine armor and he's like, "Next time, baby," and she's
Next
like,
time,
and she's
baby.
looking at the Wasp outfit and she says something along the lines of, "When do I get my turn?" And I was like, "Oh, you're getting replaced by the next movie."
Oh, yeah?
And then she did get replaced, so I was like, "Oh,
Oh.
okay, good for her. She kept her role." Good.
She's good. She's good.
Yeah.
She's a tough chick.
All right, Tom, what's your opinion of this movie?
I thought it was really funny. I laughed a lot in this movie.
Oh man, I might be the lone man out.
Like,
All right.
it was like a comedy movie. It's like, yes,
Huh?
it's a Marvel movie, but while I watched it, I laughed a lot. So, therefore, I liked it. I laughed a bunch. It made me laugh. I would give this thing like fucking 8 out of 10. It was so funny.
High
it was
score.
a very funny movie. I love the whole family thing. I don't know if Curtis went into it, but instead of like a woman who loves man, it's like trying to find the individual's like mother in the movie, you know, in Ant-Man. They're trying to find the mom.
Yeah. And that-
Oh,
no, they weren't trying to find her.
That's the next one. You're thinking of.
Are you
Ant-Man and
confusing
the
with the
Wasp.
second one?
Oh,
Well, the first one.
was this the one where they had a briefcase and it was like an office in the briefcase?
No, you're thinking
No,
of
that's
Batman
the second
2.
one, dude.
Which one was
Oh
the fucking-
Jesus!
Oh, is this that first one with
Children, don't do doobie breaks.
what's that old timey actor?
He acts old timey.
The old timey actor.
The genius guy
Almost
who made
looks
the
like
suit.
Charlie Sheen's. Almost looks like Martin Sheen.
Oh, the guy that built the suit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, you're just confused right now.
yeah.
I still like the movie.
Go, have a Scooby snack and take a
No.
nap. We'll do the podcast without you.
The movie's good.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 though. That is, I concur with that, and I feel like
he
that is
doesn't know
also.
what movie he's giving 8 out of 10
Yeah,
to.
but I can feel his passion about it even before I watched it. Like,
Still 8 out of 10.
just because he's not wearing pants.
I'm wearing shorts. Come on.
I can't see, but nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm going to give it for the Marvel Universe an 8 out of 10. Even though, because it's strange. I wouldn't believe, I would have said like fucking 2 out of 10 2 years ago when I watched that
Yeah,
on my couch, disappointed.
yeah. Oh, maybe I need to rewatch this movie because I'm saying 3.
Yeah,
Like-
that's what my first impression was.
Like it's not as offensively bad as Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is offensively bad. There's like
Where's my bird?
yeah, where's my bird? Where's my bird? I haven't done my Mickey Rourke impersonation enough this time.
Shh, I was gonna
Um,
say his name.
So like it's not offensively bad like that movie. And it didn't make me want to walk out of the movie theater like Iron Man 3. But at the same time, like there's nothing that makes me want to rewatch this movie like the Mandarin does, or even in Thor: The Dark World. I'm like, all right, there's the ether, the reality stone. It's building on the plot. It's a movie that just kind of exists. Like,
Yeah, it's a pretty cool van, though.
What do they always talk about in Community when they're like, oh, we're doing a bottle episode. This is a bottle episode. It's a movie that, take it or leave it, you don't need to watch it.
Cool
Yeah,
van.
3 out of
though.
10.
Cool van.
Okay, one more thing.
What?
All right, so remember in Deadpool
Yeah.
when he goes to the university or something, or basically two characters, like two mutants, for example, come out and help Deadpool, and they're like the ones that, yeah, sure, they're in the series somehow, but they're like the lowest paid ones. They're there just for the sake of having mutants, and then in that movie they make like a wink, saying, "Yeah, we know that we suck, but we can't afford to have the rest of the mutants in this Deadpool this Deadpool
They
scene."
got Colossus and Mega Supersonic Teenager Warhead or whatever her name is.
It was just kind of like a second thought, like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
I got that feeling when in Ant-Man, goes to the Avengers base, kind of by accident. They didn't know it was going to be the Avengers base to go steal a piece of equipment. That Falcon was there, and then Ant-Man fights
Oh,
Falcon.
yeah. I forgot that. That's a good scene.
It
I
is.
forgot
it's,
that.
It's interesting, but it's also kind of a cop out because, well, let's get the most lowest paid Avenger
Yeah.
Lowest paid.
Okay.
as far as
What
an
do you
actor
mean by
goes.
that?
As an actor,
As an actor, he made 77 cents on the dollar. But
yeah.
anyways.
So they use like the lowest level, lowest
Yeah.
paid guard actor Falcon,
Okay.
who's newest to the Avengers, I
Okay.
guess, and they fight him.
Hey, Tom, how are we doing for time? What are we at?
We're doing, man, we're going above and beyond Call of Duty, I'll tell you that.
What,
That's
an
not
hour?
an answer. What are we at? Like an hour and a half?
We're coming up on an hour and 40.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Hey, last time we were over 2 hours, so we're good.
Yeah, we'll wrap up closer to
we're
2 hours. so.
Yeah, so I did very minimal prep work for this time, but after last time I was like, hey, I
You
want
have a notepad in your hand.
Yeah, I got a notepad. I'm like, Clock Kent,
That's
Daily
hard
Bugle.
paper,
Yeah,
everybody. Hard
they
paper.
so I want to talk about which movies were successes and which ones were failures. Now, no movie lost money, right? But some of them did well and some of them did not do well based on Marvel standards, right? And we'll talk about the Rotten Tomato scores and we'll talk about like their box office returns. But I think I want to go up the list and we'll start at the bottom and go from the top based on Rotten Tomato scores. Because, I kind of like Rotten Tomato. I think that's a good movie rating website.
That's my go-to.
Yeah, like, they get some things wrong. Like, they're shitting on Dave Chappelle's. But other than that,
Get
like,
the fuck out of here.
yeah, I love Dave Chappelle. And they're shitting all over him, giving him like a 20%. Like,
Yeah,
fuck
they're just
that.
triggered. That's all.
Yeah, a bunch of nonsense. Anyways, so we're going to go up the Rotten Tomato scores. So the worst movie according to Rotten Tomatoes. Anybody got a guess?
For the movies that we listed today,
Yeah, just of the 6 movies. I'm not saying of all
for
time.
Rotten Tomato.
Iron Man 3.
Let me make a guess. Worst movie. Okay, so it was Iron Man 3 that sucked, and then
Yeah.
Thor 2. So Thor 2 had the lowest score.
Thor 2 did have the lowest score. So Thor 2, now taking into account that they will give a movie a 0. They have done it.
I've seen it.
You know?
Yeah. I've seen it.
They gave Thor: The Dark World a 67%.
Which is okay.
So
That's a good cable television movie.
yeah, it's like what
Cable
C
TV.
plus, B minus.
And that's how I got through school.
Like hey, you're not gonna be the first in line, but hey, if you're in med school and you got a C plus average, you're working in Red Deer.
Red Deer, that's a shot at you.
Love you, Red Deer. Just saying for all our listeners. out there.
Beaumont, you're next.
Yeah, exactly. Le Beaumont. Okay, so 67%, but the movie cost $222 million to make.
Nothing.
How the fuck?
Okay, $222 million, which is about average for these movies. Anyone want to take a guess on their return on investment? What they
box
cleared on the
office?
box office? Yeah,
30 mil.
No, they make money. They made money. So I'll give you the hint. Everything is a make money on this. So they spent $220 million.
Yeah, I'll see 400 million bucks.
I'll say 500.
$665 million box office. So approximately 300% return on investment. Right?
I beat you, Curtis.
And that was kind of a dud movie.
And right? That was the worst rated movie.
I liked it.
Okay?
they like
Next-
blondes, that's why.
Yeah, they do. So the next lowest movie, okay? Avengers 2, Age of Ultron.
What?
Yeah. Got
It could have been a timing thing as well.
It could have been.
I think the market was just oversaturated with these Marvel films at the time.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So Thor the Dark World.
That was later as well.
Yeah,
it was
Thor-
2015.
Thor the Dark World was 67% and it made 3 times what it cost, right? Avengers Age of Ultron 75%. Okay? Cost 450 million approximately. The thing I looked up gave us windows saying it was between 400 and 475 to cost depending on what you count and what you don't count. So we'll go with 450.
That's fair.
Right? What do you think it made? Box office.
At least that or more.
Well, yeah, Tom. That's how profits work. Every movie made a profit. Take a guess.
500.
800 mil.
1.4 billion.
Holy shit!
Billion with a B. 3 times again. Okay. And again, I'll even get. Yeah, that's insane. Next lowest movie according to Rotten Tomatoes was Iron Man 3. Okay, and again, I was no fan of Iron Man 3. Especially after the twist. 79% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
79%. Now, this movie was actually relatively cheap to make. $200 million to make
That's
this movie.
cheaper than Thor, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was less than Thor. It was less than Guardians of the Galaxy. It's less than Avengers of Ultron. Okay? It was more than Captain America and more than Ant-Man. $200 million to make. What do you think it made?
I gotta say 1 billion, like the last movie.
1.2 billion.
$1.2 billion.
Are you fucking kidding?
Six-
Did you look that up?
6 times. It made a 600% return
What
on
a
investment.
profit.
What
Holy
the hell? This movie was a piece of shit, and it made 600% return on investment.
And that's why there's 24 of these fucking pieces
exactly
of shit movies.
right. Okay,
Just kidding.
okay.
But there's a lot of them.
79%.
nail
It came.
bombs
It
being
came.
mailed right
It
now.
came. So that's fourth place. It got the copper medal of Phase 2. All right. So now, bronze medal, Ant-Man, 83% according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Right. This movie was the cheapest of the movies to make. It cost them $150 million. Again, averaging out the estimates. Okay? Anybody got a guess?
Yeah. There's all CGI, and the whole thing was
Oh,
CGI.
10,
so.
10 mil.
Yeah, an unknown actor.
There's no giant sets. Like,
Yeah.
there's an office building, a house.
You got to pay the licensing, right, for
There was
Thomas the
that
Tank
van.
Engine.
Yeah, there's Thomas the Tank license.
What do you think that the Thomas the Tank Engine $20 and
Yeah.
what was it Ringo Starr that was Mr. Conductor back in the day? I don't know, but anyways,
That's a reference.
yeah.
Okay, so please remind me the
Cost was
Cost.
$150 million.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to remember what kind of commercials I saw.
Right?
What year?
on
2015, right?
Yeah,
2015.
2015.
I saw no commercials.
I didn't really know about it until Netflix.
Yeah.
It wasn't huge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll say it 800 mil.
Okay. Tom?
About the same region, just 100 maybe above Curtis.
900.
900. Okay, we've overestimated.
Oh.
$520 million box office.
So it was kind of a dud.
Even
though
it was by
it made
Marvel
mad
standards,
profit.
but again, 3.5 times return on investment. So 350% ROI.
Oh my God.
That's a good return,
Yeah.
But when you're comparing it to 1.2 billion for Iron Man 3, it's a stinker. All right.
Yeah.
Like
That's a
I bet Ant-Man 2 has an even lower return, even lower profit.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is that like the high returns are because they're on
Yeah.
large franchises that
Yeah.
have built.
Yeah. People know who Ant-Man is now. So like
Brand recognition.
I like the last one.
Yeah, but in this case, I don't think that Ant-Man 2 or 3 or whatever is going to do as well. It's because it's kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a
All right.
subpar
So, silver medal.
brand.
Silver medal.
Silver medal. We're down to Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America. Anybody want to guess which one came in silver?
Captain America, Winter
Guardians
Soldier,
of the
and
Galaxy, silver.
Yeah, so I think Guardians made more than Captain America.
I think Guardians
Yeah,
made
but
so much more.
I'm talking
Oh.
tomato score.
Rating.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Rating.
Yeah, which do you think did better on Rotten Tomatoes?
Guardians
Ca-
of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy? So you think Guardians of the Galaxy takes
Yep.
gold?
Yep.
Like, I don't want to say it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think
All right.
it does.
You're both right, and that's horse shit.
Yeah.
It's an awesome fucking movie.
No, I
loved
like
it.
my gut
Horse
says that Winter Soldier
shit.
should have a higher rating.
Yeah, because it's a better movie.
It's better. It's more well
No,
made.
So
Guardians of the Galaxy
Captain
was
America,
so
Captain
cool.
America 2 came in silver with 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, 90. Right? That's a good score.
That's amazing.
That is nothing to sneeze at. It cost $177 million to make.
That's cheap.
It is dirt cheap. we got that between the couch cushions, don't we? We can make Captain
All
America
that gasoline they were using in those fight scenes.
right? But again, no, like CGI is very minimal, right?
But CGI is cheap, though.
Yeah. 177 to make. Anybody got a guess?
For Guardians?
No. Captain America for box office.
1 billion.
No. Get lower.
870.
650. No.
715. So approximately, in my quick mental math here, 400% return on investment.
It's sick
really
return,
good,
but
right?
it's still
So
low.
of the returns, it came in second to Iron Man 2 with its or Iron Man 3 with its ridiculous 600% return on investment. Guardians of the Galaxy came in first with 91% Rotten Tomato score. I really wish
It's
that
an
was
awesome
around.
movie.
It is. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's
I
like
like
an
the
80%
movie.
Rotten Tomato
I
score to me.
don't get I like the movie, but like I said over and over again, I love Captain America. 10 out of 10. Like, I love that movie.
I hate his face.
All right.
Yeah, lipstick face.
You
don't
hate
like-
the
you
you
just don't
hate
like men
the
that
duck
wear
lips.
It's not lipstick, it's lip gloss.
All
Lip
right.
gloss.
All
You don't like men that
right.
wear lip
We're not
gloss.
rehashing this, gentlemen. We're not rehashing this.
That's all right.
Guardians of the Galaxy, 91%, cost $232 million to make. In the box office, it made
2 billion.
I can't drum that long. $775 million, approximately 3 times.
Wow, it's really good.
Yeah. So every time Disney cranks out one of these guys, they make anywhere between 3 and 6 times what it costs.
Wow, well, they got a good thing going.
And
for
again,
them.
but 6 movies, 3 of them as a group we liked.
Oh,
Yes.
Right?
We really like, though.
Yeah.
As a group, though.
Well,
as a group.
Okay.
Yeah.
For this gen, the previous generation of movies was kind of
Yeah.
not. Oh, anyway, yes, I agree. Thank
Right?
you. Yeah.
So it's like they made some bank. No wonder they bought Star Wars. Like,
I don't blame them.
you know?
What year did Disney take over Marvel?
Mid-2000s?
No. It was after Phase 1.
2013.
Yeah, 2012, 2013.
I thought it was later than that, actually.
No, because they started using references to Disney properties in this phase, like, especially with Age of Ultron, with the fact that they used the copyrighted soundtrack of Pinocchio in the advertising. You know,
Yeah, you made that reference earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand because I didn't see that ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, that's Disney money coming in, and all of a sudden, yeah,
Cha-ching!
you know, it. There, I remember the year that the third Avengers movie came out. I saw.
We're not there yet.
I know, but I'm just saying, a hint of what's coming up in Episode 3.
Spoilers.
Phase 3.
Revenge of the Sith. Or
Oops.
oops, wrong universe.
Who knows? That could actually happen too. In
Yeah,
this.
but so I remember seeing a statistic that was talking about the year that Avengers 3 came out. 1 out of every $4 or $5 made worldwide on movies was made by Disney.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
Because Disney, Marvel, Star Wars.
That's saying a lot right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're
and
right.
don't forget they own Pixar too. So
1 in 5.
like worldwide, right? So even when Bollywood is cranking out their movies,
Yeah.
even when Europe is, and
Damn.
the French are smoking in black and white, they like 1 out of 5 movies
That's
or
a lot.
dollars made worldwide
That's insane.
goes to Mickey Mouse.
Think about that, you guys.
Holy fuck monkeys.
So what do you think Mickey Mouse is doing right now?
Swimming with
Cocaine off the
mixed
Jonas
fruit.
Brothers.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, so
I swear to God.
To a conclusion to this.
You want to wrap it up, bro?
What's some of the final things you guys want to mention? Starting with you, Curtis.
Okay, cool. I'm just throwing it out there.
Altogether, about this second generation of movies.
Yeah, it's clear that I guess Disney or whoever is kind of wrapping up this second phase of Marvel films are getting an idea of how to do this well, based on the first phase, which is new to everyone. So combining these universes is very complex. So other than Ant-Man, everything is intertwined. And it was really complicated, especially these Avengers movies. Like, I don't really know what's going on half the time because I'm not really into these things. But I'm becoming more, interested into this universe because I'm watching more of these movies. They're doing a lot better. So phase 2, whoever is tying together all these plots and producing these films are getting better and better. So next phase, when we do another episode, for the more modern Marvel films, it's going to be interesting to see how that grows in addition. And if I like them more or not. And one of these movies I sure do. I'll have to watch like Marvel, the Avengers, I should say, the third installment or whatever the fuck. So I'm kind of excited to see if I become a fan, because I'm not really a fan.
Okay, well, I will make sure that I watch some of these movies with you.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And
Spicy tacos.
yeah, spicy tacos. I feel like I'll go next, and then Adam will go, because I'm sure we don't want to end this on a sour note, and I do not want to end this on a sour note either.
So you're going to give me a sour note right now, bud?
No, I'm not. But
He's gonna give you the brown note.
Swear to God, I'm not that kind of musician. I do not. Oh no, brown note. I loved Age of Ultron.
Ant-Man.
I thought it was awesome. Honestly, I did fall asleep while watching the second Thor movie. I paid. I saw it in theaters.
Because you had that recliner in the VIP sitting.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I watched it again here at my own castle, and and I didn't fall asleep. And I didn't like it because the guy's the guy's in prison most of the movie. Other than that,
Which one? What? Oh, Thor 2.
second
Yeah.
Thor-
Yeah, Loki's in
Anyway, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought that was the coolest fucking shit I've seen about this whole generation of movies, like the second wave.
Yep.
And I kind of don't want to say anything about any other movies other than Iron Man 3 sucked ass. Everyone knows that. I don't want to get back into that shit.
Yep.
And yeah, if anything you can take from this, from my point of view, watch Guardians of the Galaxy and fucking watch Age of Ultron, although a lot of people are not going to like it. On to you, Adam.
So I'm the fanboy in the room.
No shit.
Yeah, exactly, right? So like I grew up watching the cartoons and the reading the comics and all that, and like Marvel did some things in this movie, in this phase, that I wasn't sure about, right? Like they did Guardians of the Galaxy. And again, I never read those comics. I didn't know who these characters were. And it was solid. Like, it was great. Like, Marvel showed such potential with Guardians of the Galaxy that I was like, yeah, this is what they can do now. Disney can do no wrong. Like, okay, earlier in the phase, they had Iron Man 3. Didn't like it. They had Thor the Dark World. No, didn't work. But then they fixed it. You know, they had Captain America Winter Soldier, which, again, in case you got this far and you didn't realize it, I love that movie. Like, this movie, Captain America's amazing. And then they followed it up with Guardians of the Galaxy, which is an unknown property. How are you going to make me care about a tree voiced by Vin Diesel? You did. like
One word.
Yeah, when it got to that scene
words.
where he's like, "We are Groot," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!
Yeah,
Oh my god! A tree has more emotion than anybody in Twilight."
I think technically he's an ant.
Yeah. And I'm like, yes, Disney, like Marvel can do it. They've got such potential. And then they had Age of Ultron, and it's like, yeah, people kind of hated on it. I'm aware of the limitations of the genre when you've got all those toys smashing against one another. So you're not going to have a plot. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. Let's go. Let's do it. And then Ant-Man. And I was like, oh, shit.
That's a weird
I
way
thought
to
it was
end
really
that.
funny.
Right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
it was...
Now that you say it, I think Ant-Man should have,
Yeah.
of course, have been before.
Yeah,
the
it was
Avengers
it
film.
was weird. But I'm like, Phase 2 showed to me that they weren't done. You know, because when Marvel started all of this, right? Fox owned the Fantastic Four and X-Men. And Sony owned Spider-Man. Those are the 3 best-selling comic book franchises Marvel had. And they were owned by other movie studios. So they were playing with the B team and the C team when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy. And they were making it work, and they were making fucking bank.
Mm-hmm.
2 of these 6 movies went over $1 billion. And spoiler alert, they weren't the last ones to clear the $1 billion mark.
Yeah, no
Adam,
shit.
we didn't get there yet. Come on,
I'm
man.
just saying. Tune in next time,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Same geek time, same geek channel. We're going to talk about Phase 3.
I like
We're
this.
getting there.
That sounds like a good close off. Curtis, do you have anything else to say?
Oh, thank you for tuning in to the Great Canadian Hosers, and we look forward to providing you guys with some new podcasts here for this fall and this winter.
Yeah, we'll see you in summer 2021.
Yeah. 21. Curtis, I think that's a shot at you.
Oh,
Hey, so one of us might get married again.
I guess I'm the only one
I
that's
have
left.
no clue who you were talking about.
Oh,
I'm-
With
hey,
that being said,
Wait. Let me clarify something out there. Ladies. This one here that knows encyclopedic knowledge about comic books, if you could believe it, not married.
oh shit! I thought you had kids and shit.
Nope, just should have by now.
just should have.
is there some kind of name and number we need to give out? Should we get
Yeah,
put that in the comments? Or?
Yeah, call me at 555-0123. You can find me at Springfield. Oh, hi, Ahmad.
With that being said, thank you for another episode.
What up, Mach?
Of the Great Canadian Hoser!